here you go. This is Emily C., my new bestie.
I hate the idea that someone out there hates me. I even hate thinking that Al-Qaeda hates me. I think if they got to know me, they wouldn't hate me.
This stole the show. Emily C. was phenomenal.
There's something you need to know.
What?
You're doing great.
Look at my baby. There she is. Emily. 10 out of 10. Huge fan.
I see Emily C says 123. I trust her. She's really good.
Listen, Turtle, you gotta watch your language. I'm already live. So you need to follow the FCC guidelines.
She destroyed, left nothing in her path. It was so good.
Hello. Look at this. This is brand new. We're just starting. Like, we're just going. We made everybody wait.
Oh, you gotta do it, right? Oh, I just dropped something.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't need that. You have your poster is straight. That's new since I was here last. I was not the one who made a comment about that, by the way. Was that Saturday?
I made a comment about it. Oh my God. My life is like all over the place right now, you guys. Okay, I need to tell everybody.
Calm down. It's okay. Look, you've got so much stuff going on. You had last week was over the top for you. Okay, right? Last week was big accomplishments in the Emily household. I don't want to bring it up, but I'm just like it.
What did I do?
You're a great teacher.
Oh, when Carter started talking?
Yes.
Well, he's been doing it for a little while, but he's been like saying more. That was exciting. But now he's a little destructive tornado. So you guys, this is my keyboard. And I went to go log into my computer and I typed in my password and it was like password incorrect. And I was like, oh, and I typed it in again. And it was like password incorrect. And I typed it in again. And I was like, what's going on? So then I was like, oh my gosh, what do I need to do? Like, how do I get into my computer? I found another keyboard. I finally figured out that this keyboard now only types D. No matter what letter I press, it just says D. So the whole time I was typing my password, it was just typing D, 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 D. So that's fun. Yeah.
So you got to get a iWatch because that will unlock your computer. You don't have to do passwords.
I'm never getting an Apple Watch. I even had a little Garmin dinky fake Apple Watch and I hated it. I want as little technology in my life as possible.
Oh my gosh, I absolutely love you. Like there was a story I read. It was in Forbes or something. They how dorky I am, right? And it was a long time ago, and it was something like all these tech people. The answer is always D. It's not though, is it?
Wait,
there's an algorithm on
so that I don't forget to do the song.
So anyway, all these tech guys, they were obsessed over watches, like these Swiss watches, like a Rolex is what everybody thinks of, but I can't think of any now because I'm on the spot. Tag Heuer would be an example, even though they're owned by Swatch. Breitling, stuff like that. And the reporter said, why you're in this huge .com type thing and all stuff? Why are you wearing an old-fashioned 200-year-old type of watch? And the answer was, all I do is technology. I want something old world. Like the intricate details of how the watch comes together and how they do perfect time is absolutely fascinating. And anyway, I understand that with the whole. I was thinking about watches too, but thumb pins and watches.
Look, Erin said that Apple Watch gave her husband shooting pains down his hand. There's something that's weird about it. It's I don't need if I want my email. Also, I'm I used to be very on top of I would get an email and I would respond to it. Now, You guys, I read all of your emails and I like sit there and I write back in my head and then I get distracted and then I feel awful for the next week because I didn't write back. And then I feel bad that it's too late to write back and it's awkward if I do. And then I overthink it. So
I've ruined her.
I don't need like emails on my hand.
Well, if you had an Apple Watch, you'd be
This
able
is
to
our
know how
person.
many times you go up and down stairs.
I realized I do have Apple Health, whatever John had. I didn't even know I had Apple Health. And then we were looking at this and I was like, oh, do I have Apple Health? And it was like pretty accurate. Double M99 is our kind of people. I still carry a sundial. You just put it down in the middle of the road and then you know what time it is at any moment. Only
I
on
can
a
do
sunny
one
day.
better on you. Double M. It's whatever time it is when I get there.
Yeah. Okay. Here's the plan. I want you to fill everybody in on what you learned in your homework because I was very excited, like watching you figure things out last night. Oh wait, hold on. I said I was going to put the squirrel school thing, so I didn't forget. Hold on.
Hooray, it's time for Squirrel School, the best part of my day.
Yay. Also, that just reminded me somebody sent us another song for us. Okay, tell everybody what you learned in your, and you guys, I threw a little audible yesterday for the experts Squirrel School homework because he watched a little bit of Samantha Beningo's stream and then was like having kind of a hard time with what exactly, like you weren't sure if they were dog bites or what was that?
So, okay, so I have no talent, right? Like I cannot do videos. I cannot put things together and stuff. But
Same.
I consume talent, like consume all this stuff like crazy. And so when I see like she had like a dog, I'm like, wait a second, what dog is that? You have a picture of a dog, like a Photoshop picture or what's those things? It's a clip art picture
Yes.
of a dog. And so that gets me because I'm like, wait a second here. Is that the same dog? Is that what we're doing? Because and then like one, it looked like it may have been an AI made and where the teeth are sharper. And I'm like, I probably have not said this in full disclosure. My wife and I, that our first dog was a German Shepherd. And so I'm very like I had the going into shepherdhood. Is that the word? Shepherdhood?
Sure. It also
I
kinda sounds
had
like
like
you
the
have a
whole
flock of
police
sheep.
thing. Do what?
It also kind of sounds like you have like a flock of sheep, like you're a shepherd.
That's Valhalla. He has goats.
Yeah.
No, I had this whole like, what everybody does, police dog, military dog, stuff like that. And then, it was the shepherd, I mean, shepherd is a very historically a shepherd is an incredible, great thing, right? I mean, we're all part of God's herd. So I mean that's it gets you when you look at like the whole history and everything else stuff. So and then that dog, she absolutely, she was such a sweetheart. Where Blue Dog is everything that's wrong with my life. Our German Shepherd, she was everything that was great. And
I mean, I feel like a German Shepherd is the kind of dog that's as good as their owner. Where like you could get like a cockapoo and like that cockapoo is going to have its own personality and kind of like be its own dog no matter what. And like you could teach it to like sit and stay or not, but you're not
they're one of
gonna.
the only breeds that are like that. Yes, they have what they are trained to do is what they live for. And that they were before they found like golden retrievers and Labradors were so good at helping like the blind service animals. German Shepherds were service animals, and yeah, 100
Right.
pounds of love.
But they're also the kind of dog that like if you don't put in the work to like make your German Shepherd 100 pounds of love, they will not be. Like they don't just kind of like come to you as these like well-trained, obedient, gentle, docile lap dogs.
And that was part of the thing when we got ours. I made because we were dating back then, and I told White Rabbit, I said, "Look, because she is a solid black German Shepherd. She grew up with solid black German Shepherds, and once dated a dog, junkyard dog. Anyway, I was like, you have to do the training, and she went to a lady that is, she's just she's amazing. She's absolutely amazing. Has all these awards and everything else. And she explained to us the difference. She's like, there's a certain type of skill thing they do, and where it's like you go out and you hide things for them, and they have to discover them and all stuff. And she's like, but those when you start training a dog down that path, they don't come back. Like they are always that type of dog. And she's like, "Your dog is so sweet. And seeing the way y'all love on her, like, please just make her a lap dog, you know? Make sure she's
Aw.
very very obedient and right. And that's another thing. So Aaron Gobra, I never got what type of dog Chloe was
It's a
because some people told me,
Malinois, a German
can't
Shepherd
pronounce it.
Malinois mix,
Oh, it hates
which is just
itself.
like another kind of, they're in kind of the same family. It's not like it was like a German Shepherd, like um, poodle mix, or a German Shepherd, like Jack Russell Terrier mix. It was like, they're both kind of like in the same vibe. And did you ever call your dog it?
Okay, in the classical sense, I understand where animals aren't supposed to be. They don't have. But they're not he's or she's. They're it's right. My dog, no, it's like my dogs have stage names. They're blue dog and brown dog. That's not their real
Yeah.
name. That's their. I mean, these things. They're no. I love my animals. That's why I don't have cats because my friend is Dave. If you guys know, you know. But yeah,
Wait, this is what a Malinois looks like. Basically looks like a German Shepherd.
well, they have the ears. But I think that these are a little bit more. If there is such a thing as a more high-strung dog than a shepherd, I think these are.
Yeah.
But the guy though, so when you're like, I'm going to throw an audible on the homework. Good play, good play.
Yeah.
The guy that Melanie had on, that dude did a
Garrett
great
Wing.
job of doing the common sense explanation. He talked to you like he wasn't talking down to you. I felt like.
Yeah. He
Really?
and he just knows his stuff. Like if a guy that spent that much time around dogs, with dogs, training dogs, literally like getting bit by dogs, and he says those are dog bites, like those are dog bites. That makes sense to me. I don't need anything more than that. Like to me, they look like dog bites already, and I'm not an expert. And then if somebody who is an expert like that says, yes, these are dog bites, then like they're dog bites.
So you've never had the sleeve on and done the thing with the dog?
No.
Have you ever been in a room and watched somebody else have it happen to them?
No.
Okay, so my dad
Have
volunteered for
you?
it. Yeah, yeah. I volunteered for the bomb squad because they said nobody had ever stood up from the floor in the bomb squad outfit. I did. The chief of police didn't like me that much. But anyway, it was I'm not a cop. But my dad volunteered for the dog, and he put boy, when you bring out that arm, um oh yeah, German Shepherd intimidating. Oh, mine's solid black. It looked like a werewolf. People were always like, what kind of dog is that? But when you bring out the arm kind of thing, the dog is just like, yeah. You see that click. It's like, I get to do my thing now, you know? And this dog, we were in the police training room. It wasn't that big. It was, I think it was a double wide trailer, to tell you the truth. And yeah, I mean, I'm
Like
used
Spencer
to.
Pratt's.
Does he have a trailer?
Yeah, that's like his whole campaign.
Oh yeah, because he can't get his house built.
Yeah.
I need to check that out. I was just on this thing yesterday, and then you
I
said,
told you that you would like him. He's like giving me you politician vibes.
well, Heidi was kind of cool. But anyway, so this here's my dad. He's standing there, and this dog who is like, it looks like about 50 pounds, comes flying at my dad, and he holds that thing up, and the dog grabs it. And of course, you're in a room full of people, and my dad's like, I am not going to fall down. You know, it's one of those things like you will put all your strength. My dad's like, oh yeah, no problem. We got to the car. My dad's like, oh, I think I've got it. What are those? Like a big heavy duty pain pill at home. He's like, for the last time my back went, I'm muscle relaxer. He goes, I'm going home and taking one of those and going to bed. Oh my gosh, I didn't think a dog could be so strong. And my dad had it up off the ground. And those things, it's like if you ever see deep sea fishermen and they're bringing up the fish and it's up and it's flopping around, that's how these things are. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. I'm surprised that dog attacked John. I'm surprised there's not more damage. That'd be the only thing that makes that I walk away with that I don't follow the narrative, if that makes sense.
Well, I think it wasn't. I mean, again, and I want to like kind of clarify why I say like I don't do theories. And I think you kind of landed on this last night too, is like it doesn't really matter for us to figure out the exact details about like where in the house they were. Were they in the basement? Were they in the living room? Were they inside? Were they outside? Were they this? Were they that? It's kind of interesting to do, and it does like kind of help us to understand like where these other pieces of like people fit together and stuff. But
Yeah.
we don't have there wasn't an investigation for us to know for sure. What we can prove is that Karen's car didn't do it. And what Zach just said is what I was about to say is like, I think it all happened so fast that it wasn't like a dog attack didn't kill John. It was just a piece of this kind of like perfect storm of a under a minute kind of nightmare scenario where everything that could go wrong did go wrong. And now I don't think that's the Lexus. I just like need to put that out there. I think that's a different car. And I don't even think that's new. But I might be wrong about that. But I think it happened so fast that it wasn't. It was almost like the Chloe bites were just the like calling card to tell us in the future, like John didn't get hit by a car.
I like the way you put that
and
because
like Samantha Beningo
I was going
loves
kind of
this.
dark with it. What? Is that who I started watching?
That's who you started watching. And like she is
Okay.
amazing at like really piecing together. Like she'll rewatch somebody's testimony like 15 times in a row and then like watch the next person and then go back to this person and rewatch that. I just don't have the like interest or patience for me to personally do that. I love and appreciate that she wants to do that because I find it really interesting. But
What if she finds
and
out
that's
about
also
Row?
well, that's also why I think this like defamation stuff, when they threaten me with defamation, is so funny because I'm like, you guys, I've been saying since day one, like, I don't know what happened. I can't defame somebody if I don't know. It's not like I'm like, oh, I hold all the secrets and now I'm going to tell you guys like, so-and-so was the killer. No, I don't know what happened. And I'm not trying to figure out what happened.
No. And I'm glad that how'd you just say it a second ago when you're talking about the calling card, like you
Mhm.
feel, and I like that. See, so one of the things that in my experience is you see a TV show or something and it has a detective and they have a gut feeling, they have a hunch. Then
Yeah, like when the crime
that
scene
same
talked
yes,
to Joe Paul.
yeah, it was a row guy.
Yeah. He said the crime
Okay.
scene told him.
Okay, there's something to that. There is something to that. But what I was thinking right before you said that was, thinking back on my dad's experience, if that was the case, like I was like, man, you know what? You're inebriated, you're down there, you're hanging out. It's like, hey, Oh yeah, hey John, you dare put on the thing, you want to see her get you, and joking around, and next thing you know, the dog comes flying and it hits you so hard you fall over. Um, but I don't think. Well, I don't know yet. There, yeah, I'll tell you what, Emily, I've changed my mind so many times since I've
And
known you that I'm just gonna
I think
end
that's
this now.
also
See where you take me next.
well, that's also why like this is so enjoyable for all of us to like do together with you because we've all been through that same process. Like there were some weird theories for a little while um that like everybody kind of latched onto because that was like the talk of the town for the day. Like you guys, the whole like, oh, John's phone was at Lank's house. I almost like just checked out for a few days because I was like, you could no, this is ridiculous. So we've all gone through some very weird theories. I thought it was very weird when people were saying they went to the side of the house, and I just waited that one out, and then people came back around to being like, okay, that didn't happen. But I think you kind of have to do that just in your own mind to like rule things out. And I think that's why it's fun for us to kind of like see you go through it and see you piece these things together. So let me tell you what we're going to do tonight. And it might have been motivated by Fervent's new song because it's been stuck in my head nonstop.
Uh-oh.
And I cannot wait to introduce it to you.
Fervent, are you causing trouble again with this music?
Oh, it's so
Fervent's
good.
like the 1960s. Oh, you don't know. Anyway, look up Louie Louie by the Kingsmen and the controversy there. Fervent's the Kingsmen.
Oh.
They had congressional hearings over that song.
Tonight, we're just going to focus on Proctor. I feel like there should be a way that I can not have the bar at the top. That doesn't do that. Okay. First, just a moment for, oh, God. Wait, I just messed something up on my computer. Okay. First, just a moment for my thumbnail that I'm obsessed with that I made. No, I haven't seen Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, but I copied the cover. And now this is Proctor's Excellent Investigation. And that's what we're going to focus on tonight. Our whole focus is just going to our whole focus is just going to be on this question. At every moment, what did Proctor know at the time? And hold on a second.
There's two conflicting things here.
What?
This can be hard. Well, the two conflicting things. Well, if Proctor's the noun, the conflicting things are no, meaning you have knowledge of something, and time, like he can tell time, like anybody can tell time. This is going to be hard. Yeah, I hope you guys sharpened your pencils tonight.
Ow! I just kicked.
Are you okay?
My dresser.
Did you just pull something?
No, I just kicked my dresser. I'm a mess right now. Okay.
You kicked your dress. Is that
my whatever you call it? My drawers.
I don't wear pants.
Okay. This no, it was my toe. Okay. Let me tell you why I think that this is. We're gonna even like give Proctor some like credit. We'll like give him some. I don't know what the word is that I'm looking for. We'll like pretend that's like we'll like pretend that some of the things that he did were actually real. Okay, like we'll go into his head and we'll pretend that he didn't. There was no conspiracy or cover up or whatever. Well, we'll play along.
Let me get a flashlight for going in his head.
but
dark.
But the reason, Grace, that was the word I was looking for. I'm all over the place. But the reason why I want to do this is because I like the more that I think about it, like there was no investigation. And if we stop at like each juncture of the first 16 hours, you can see that his mind was made up before like his day started. And so we're just going to pause at like every juncture of the day, of that first day, and just ask ourselves, like, what did Proctor know at the time? Chad asked, should I drop Proctor theory in chat or email? Well, is it going to be as long as your last theory? Because I don't think that can go in the chat. And then I would love it in email. If it's like a chatty theory, then chat it. That's up to you. The world is your oyster, Chad. Whatever you want to do. Okay. Here we go. Are you ready? Is everybody ready? Buckle up. We're going into Proctor's head. What did Proctor know at the time? And we'll even ignore the fact that he knew he wasn't on duty that day, because he wasn't, but we'll just skip right over that for now.
Yeah.
And I apologize ahead of time, you guys, but it was really only Lally's questioning that they really got into the details of the morning. So we have to watch Lally. I'll put it on like 1.25. I
kind of like that guy. He makes
I
me
know.
he makes me want to be better.
He makes me
No, I
crazy.
love it. Ever since you said he was sitting over in the corner, took a nap, smoking cigarettes. I mean, look, I'm sorry, but like that's just I like that. That's kind of cool.
The next time that we
you
do
wake
like
up from a nap
viral
and you just start
moments,
taking notes, you're okay. You may not be, may not be who everybody likes or whatnot, but you gotta admit that's a pretty cool move. He just woke up like, oh yeah, writing this down. Where are we?
The next time we do viral moments, I need to show you the hearing where Rosemary Scapicchio cross-examines him. Like they're both just attorneys and he's on the stand and she's like, so little boy, like, how do you keep track of the things that you have to do? And he's like, I write it on a list. And she's like, oh, did you write this one on your list? And he's like, no, I didn't write this one on my list. And she's like, then how'd you keep track of it? And he's like, I didn't. It's like so dumb. It's so embarrassing. Okay, but that's not for today, because today we are going back to, I don't know what this date was, probably like May 20th, 2024. Now I want to know if I was right.
Now, with respect to your work,
June 10th, 2024. Okay. That's not what I wanted to do at all. Now I can't see anything. Where's theater mode? There we go. There has to be another way that I can do this.
Yeah, you're doing the whole screen, right?
Yeah, I don't know.
You just need to share
my
it
brain.
out. Oh, trust me, my brain's gone. Don't pay attention.
now, with respect to your work,
Can you hear that? Is the sound working?
Yes.
I'm not
Yes.
seeing
I
you.
wasn't talking and I was shaking my head. You couldn't hear me. What an
Oh,
idiot.
you were behind.
Oh my gosh.
Sorry, you were behind Proctor. Now you're not. Okay. Here we go. So we're starting. This is first thing in the morning. Proctor's still fast asleep. And guess what? I know we said we're ignoring it, but he was fast asleep because he had the day off. He wasn't on call. But anyways, we'll pretend that he was.
with the detective units, as far as, do you have sort of an on-call system?
We do.
And can you explain to the jury sort of how that works or how those specific days for your on-call duties are assigned?
Sure. So a Sergeant
This is a
Buchanan
lie.
usually sets the on-call rotation. It's at random, and your on-call is from 7 a.m. to 7 a.m. Any unattended death, homicide, suicide, overdose, things of that nature that comes in during that time frame, you own it. That's your call.
Now, were you working in that capacity with the detective units on January 29th, 2022?
Yes.
And at some point in the morning, did you receive a call in regard to a situation in the town of Canton?
I did.
And what, if anything, was that? When did you first receive that call from them?
Sergeant Buchanan called me at approximately 6:48 that Saturday morning, advised that Canton PD had a male party that was discovered in the snow outside of a residence, and he wasn't sure what had happened. It was originally given to me as a possible medical situation.
And based on that initial call and that initial information that you received, what, if anything, did you do?
And at that point, I knew I needed to gather further information. So I contacted Detective Lank from Canton Police Department to see exactly what transpired in the morning.
Okay, so let's pause there for just 1 second. We're like a couple minutes into the day. What does Proctor know at this moment?
That he was on call.
Okay. And then he gets a call. And now, what do they tell him? They say, oh, there's a man who was found in the snow. He's not dead yet. So you actually don't have, like, they only, what he was saying was the Massachusetts State Police only take over when there's an unattended death. And John wasn't pronounced dead yet. So at 6:48, when he says he got that call, I already don't know like what he thinks is going on. They said he was unresponsive in the snow, but he's not declared dead yet. He's
Okay.
Yeah.
So he shouldn't have been called because he's not pronounced dead.
Well, it's kind of unclear. Like maybe they do that part I'm not entirely sure. Like maybe
get
it's
ready.
Yeah, like heads up, maybe also because of the snow. Well, we're going to give them all the grace because even with all the grace today, everything that they did was stupid. But let's give them all the grace. So they wanted to call him ahead of time. They wanted to call him ahead of time because it was snowing. And they were like, hey, heads up, like you might need to like put your boots on.
At 6:48.
Yes.
And this is Canton Police, right?
Yes. And Proctor happens to live in Canton. Proctor lives a 3-minute drive from the Canton Police Department. So he works for the Massachusetts State Police, but he passes the Canton Police Department like every time he goes anywhere from his house. He could walk up the hill to the Canton Police Department in about 20 minutes, even in a snowstorm. That's just important to note for what he's going to say about how long it takes him. But
can I ask you a detail?
Yeah.
When was John declared dead?
We're going to get there. He's going to actually walk us through, like he actually does have a timeline of this morning. It's just stupid, but
Yeah, because I know he said that he didn't leave the house till 10 o'clock, which if like what you're saying about they don't get involved until you know there's a death, that sounds more
No.
likely. Like
he was declared like pretty soon after he got to the hospital. So the ambulance left at 6:30. I think he got to the hospital at 7 and maybe was declared at 7:30.
how far away is the hospital?
They went to Good Samaritan, maybe like a 20. I don't know.
Okay.
Mm.
So there
used to be a hospital right nearby, the Norwood Hospital, and then there was a really rainy day, like 3 summers ago, but it was the weirdest rain because the rain went through Massachusetts really quickly. Like it was like like that kind of like super downpour, but it passed really quickly. So it like went through Boston really quickly. It went through like all the other towns really quickly. And then it just stopped on top of the Norwood Hospital. And for like 7 straight hours, it just rained in Norwood, like literally only, and flooded the entire Norwood Hospital. And then that hospital had to close. Like couldn't even rebuild or anything. They had to knock it down. So there used to be a hospital.
Was Morrissey involved in a murder trial?
This was before, when was this? I don't know. Somebody look it up. And then there were like signs like rebuild the north. They're rebuilding it now. But anyways, that would have been closer. But I think that the flood happened before then.
Okay, so
Anyways.
the hospital is the only thing that's not within like 3 minutes of where the Alberts live. It seems like everybody lives there, and the police department's there, the police chief is there. I can't remember right now where the McCabe's live, but they're all, it seems like, within spitting distance of
Yeah.
each other.
So the flood was in 2020. So they probably would have taken him to the Norwood Hospital if that still existed, and then that would have been 5 minutes. But instead, they had to go to Good Samaritan, which is, now let's just look it up. I just typed Good Samaritan without hospital, and it was like, gave me Bible verses.
What was the?
Mm.
You know, it's weird. I know that.
25 minutes.
25
What?
minutes in an ambulance.
Well, probably faster in an ambulance. I didn't set my map quest to ambulance.
But still, I mean, man, how many miles? Did it say that
I
from
just
their
texted it.
house? Not your house. I don't want to know that. Okay. Just sorry. I have been in the back of an ambulance. So.
For you or for someone else?
I had a slice an artery and had to go to the emergency room and get sewn up.
That's an 11th.
You did?
Yeah.
When? What? How? What happened?
It was Christmas Day. Stuck a knife in my arm.
Ugh.
I
What?
joked around. I
That
used to
makes my
joke around and say it was stress of holidays, but it's not. No, it was an accident, pure accident. But I was
That makes my stomach
classified as a
hurt.
pumper when I went in. I discovered that a pumper goes to the
I
front of the
can't
line.
do blood. Stop. It like really makes my stomach go like upside down.
I can't watch movies like that.
Okay, we're back to
I have a hard time
just
wearing a
to revisit. He says he was on call. He wasn't, but we're just going to give him all the grace. So he was on call. He gets a call at 6:48. A male party was discovered in the snow outside of a residence, and they weren't sure what happened. Proctor says, and this is important, it was originally given to me as a possible medical situation. And based on that initial call and that initial information, then he decided he needed to contact Detective Lank from the Canton Police Department to find out what happened. And that's where we're going to jump back in.
He had informed me that a male party had been transported to Good Samaritan Hospital with some injuries. Detective Lank didn't have much more information, so I knew I needed to contact the paramedic at the hospital. The individual is treating Mr. O'Keefe.
Now, before we get to that, if I could, I'm sorry. As far as Detective Sergeant Lank was concerned, was that someone that you called on your own, or how did you get his information, or why did you call him specifically?
I knew he was on scene, so I called Detective Lank.
So that was some information that you would.
Now let's pause there for a second. I knew that Lank was on scene. So he got a call from Yuri, right? I think that's who called him. Did I get that right? And he says, I knew that Detective Lank was on scene. Okay. Well, interesting. How'd you know that? He doesn't tell us how he knows, but
Was he
we'll find out.
This is first trial, right?
Yes. But so then he says Detective Lank didn't know very much, so then I needed to contact the hospital. So at this point, and I just want to like, this is like where our head is at the whole time. Like, what did he know? So at this point, he knows there was a man. He doesn't say an officer, even though they already do know it's an officer. He doesn't say John's name. There was a man found in the snow, and it was a possible medical situation. And he knows that Lank was there.
Received at some point.
Well, I mean, I don't think he was making snow angels.
Excuse me, Detective Sergeant Lank.
Correct.
And following that, you reached out to whom? I'm sorry?
This firefighter Anthony Flamati.
Godfather. And with reference to that conversation, what, if anything, did you learn from that?
Firefighter Flamati informed me that
I'm going to allow it.
Firefighter Flamati informed me that Mr. O'Keefe had some injuries to his right arm, some abrasions to his right arm, some injuries to his eyes, a cut to the nose area, and he put a 10% chance of survival for Mr. O'Keefe.
So he was alive.
Who did you call next?
What?
So he was alive.
Well, Anthony Flamati didn't have the no, he was not alive.
He
was
didn't
very
start
much dead.
dating Kelsey Fitzsimmons, did he? Was that the same one?
No, that's Justin Alayan.
I just know that guy does a lot of drugs. So
Anthony Flamati, we should watch his testimony sometime just to see. He really was trying. He means well. He's just, he
well, I mean,
did,
you think about
he,
it, like,
he does not have the whatever the word is, the knowledge, the capacity, the understanding to be able to say that this man has a 10% chance of survival. But sure, he had a 10% chance of survival.
Are you in control of your child's food? I mean, you could say, yeah. I mean, because you could say he has a 10% chance of survival, but I don't feed him. You know, I mean, anybody could have. He's alive? He's alive. We're going to do everything we can to save him. 90% no.
Like even Jen McCabe tells us that John's dead. Like she basically says he was already like in rigor mortis. Like she says that she was giving him CPR and she like pushed down and it felt weird. I don't think that an EMT would have said like he has a 10% chance of survival, but who knows? There is a rule in the like medical profession, I guess, that if somebody is found in a very cold environment, that they need to be warmed first before they're declared dead, because there is like a chance that once they're warmed up, like their facilities are able to restart. Like Flamati didn't say anything about the injury on the back of the head. He also like thought John was wearing like a big puffy coat. Like he was just like, this is exactly right. Andrea said he means well. And he was just very excited to be part of a big case. Like he sits down, he's like, hey, like, yeah, I was an EMT and I was working really hard that day. And I got,
he's a Labrador.
He was trying. Yeah. He's like a Labrador that like, if a Labrador ended up with like half a brain. No, he might be a smart guy. I don't know. He was just like a little bit too, I don't know, this. Like he didn't say this and Proctor made it up, or he was like really overstepping. And either way, it's kind of silly. This was the quote. You're not dead till you're warm and dead, which also like really freaks me out. Like just read that out of context. You're not dead till you're warm and dead. Okay. So now at this point, Proctor
just when I thought I was
already
getting a handle on this stuff. Holy cow, man. I have no idea. I'm back to being lost. 10% chance of life. You're warm and dead.
I'll let it play for a little bit. I'll let it play. We don't have to do every step at this point. Yeah. But so we're gonna see what he knows up until he has to make his first big decision. So right now he's just gathering facts, if we want to call it that. And he's just making phone calls at home.
Gotcha.
And then at a certain point, he's going to have to like he's doing like a choose your own adventure game right now. And he's going to reach a juncture in the road and he's going to have to say, do I go to 34 Fairview? Do I go to the hospital? I choose Jen McCabe's house, but we're going to see why he makes that decision. Okay.
I contacted Sergeant Buchanan, advised him that this sounds like it's more than a medical situation.
And what, if any, decision did you and Sergeant Buchanan come to with regard to what to do or where to go or what the next step should be?
So there was a couple different steps. Number one, it was blizzard conditions, and we operate, Ford Fusions or Chevy Malibu. So we got authorization to use our personal vehicles that are four-wheel drive, and to meet at Canton PD and to speak with the responding officers.
And about what time was it that you and Sergeant Mechanic arrived at the Canton Police Department?
It was approximately 10 a.m. that morning.
And so, Trooper Proctor, if
Beginning
I could
of December.
ask you, whereabouts were you at about 8:22 in the morning?
Home.
Had you shoveled out of your driveway at that time?
Not yet.
Had you cleaned off your car at that time?
No.
So you arrived at the Canton Police Station about 10 a.m. or so. When was it that you arrived in relation to Sergeant Buchanan, if you know?
At Canton PD?
Yes.
I don't recall if Sergeant Buchanan arrived first or myself.
But suffice it to say, at some time you both arrived around 10 a.m., is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And where did you go with the Canton Police when you arrived there?
We spoke with the Sergeant Sean Good.
And what, if anything, did you learn from Sergeant Good?
Sergeant Good informed us that while he was on scene, he identified Kerry Roberts, Jennifer McCabe, Karen Reed. He also informed us that Jennifer McCabe was out early in the night at a waterfall bar in Canton with some individuals, and that she was the one who called 911 when they found Mr. O'Keefe in the snow that morning.
Shoot.
Now, with regard to the parties that
Now, we're about to choose your own adventure. Hold on.
Yeah,
Everything is
awesome.
And he's going to choose the wrong adventure every time. But so at this point right now, he knows that Kerry, Jen, and Karen were there. He knows about the waterfall. He knows John was in the snow. Here's what he doesn't know. He doesn't know. Hold, please. He doesn't know that I know he's lying. And here's why. Have I showed you this yet?
That sounded like a choose your no. It's what are those books? Anyway, I'm sorry. What he doesn't know is that I know. That was
He's a
cool.
liar. So for anybody, I can't remember if I showed you this already, but for anybody in the chat who hasn't seen this yet, I just happened to, I'm not even like a big like Instagram person, but for some reason that morning I live 10 minutes from 34 Fairview. That morning on January 29th, 2022, I went out for a walk, just happened to take a video of my feet walking in the snow, and I timestamped it.
She's an OnlyFans person.
No, but like, what are the chances? Like,
content.
I need to show you sometime. Like, I don't have that on any other day of the year. Like, it is bananas. So anyways, I need to show you this video now.
when did you first receive that call from him?
Sergeant Buchanan called me at approximately 6:48 that Saturday morning, advised that Canton PD had a male party that was discovered in the snow.
That you and Sergeant Mechanic arrived at the Canton Police Department?
It was approximately 10 a.m. that morning.
And so, Trooper Proctor, if I could ask you, whereabouts were you at about 8:22 in the morning?
Home.
Had you shoveled out of your driveway at that time?
Not yet.
Had you cleaned off your car at that time?
No.
So you arrived at the Canton Police Station about 10 a.m. or so.
Okay. No, that's not from Bluey. It was like one of the songs that like YouTube offers that you can like use for free and not get copyright struck. So
Are you trying to say he
gets a
was
call.
16 minutes away from by walk?
I was 16 minutes away from them.
Oh.
He is 3 minutes from the Canton Police Department. He is exactly 1 mile. And I tried to do the map. I know exactly where his house is. I did the map, so it wasn't like dogs.
Yeah, 1
his
mile
house
is about like 60 minutes to walk in the snow and all that, right?
Right. Yeah.
mean,
So an hour and 34
15
minutes
minutes,
later,
whatever, yeah.
he still had not started cleaning off his car yet. Meanwhile, the snow was still at the level that like you could drive your car, and he just told us that his personal vehicle has 4-wheel drive. So
Oh, he did.
that was still snow that like you can pull your car out of the driveway. Like you don't need to shovel out. You don't need to clear off your car. Like that is like if you have an SUV, you turn your windshield wipers on, you get in the car and you go. So already like something weird is going on. Am I going to go as far as to say like he already knew I don't know. And that is I'm not even going to try to go there at this moment. This might not be wrong. Dr. Jen Toxic said he had to sober up. Kat Randall said the same thing. You guys might be right about that. Also though, he was drinking and driving in his cruiser with Kevin Albert. Like that's not even a concern for him.
Oh, yeah, that's right. He's that guy. Like Albert forgot his gun and his badge.
Yeah, well, there is a significance of 822. What was he gets a phone call from someone. Maybe I think the phone call that John passed and that Massachusetts State Police were owning the case now was at 822. But I might also be giving them too much credit that like that would make sense. But for some reason that sounds like that's what happened. So now he's at a juncture. So he just talked to who did he say he just talked to? He talked to Flamati. He talked to Lank. He talked to Yuri. And then Yuri tells him that Jen and Karen and Kerry were there. So there's no mention of like, and they said that Karen hit him with a car. We think this is a car thing. He knows about the waterfall at this moment. And now he is at his first like choose your own adventure juncture in the road. And that is where do I go first? So with all that information, he could choose to go to 34 Fairview. He could choose to go to the hospital and see the victim, but he goes to Jen McCabe's house. And that's where we're going to pick up right now.
Well, yeah, she's got to make him breakfast. She has a hangover surprise. You know, it's like going to Waffle House. Oh gosh,
I feel like I wouldn't. I don't see Jen McCabe or Lizzie Proctor as good cooks. Just looking at them, but I feel like Jen McCabe would be a better cook than Lizzie Proctor.
Which one's Lizzie Proctor?
Proctor's wife, but
this
Proctor,
guy.
Yeah, but he also got he has like a Stepford wife, but also he did get really fat in 1 year, so maybe she is a good cook. Or maybe she's not a good cook and he's getting a lot of takeout.
Real quick, I want to apologize for had to go through it. For some reason, it says that my phone is wet. It's up on my phone is on like a 2-foot stand, and it said that I need to unplug the cable and let everything dry out. And I'm like, what? So sorry about that. But anyway, so
Go put it in rice.
Wasn't that the axe murder?
Lizzie Borden. Lizzie Borden gave Lizzie Borden. What's the first part of that? Lizzie Borden got an axe, gave her mother 40 whacks, gave her father 40 more, something. I don't think she did it. Anyways, that's a whole nother story. Yeah, they were out near where actually I forget. You can go
All
to
the
the
cool stuff
house.
happens up there.
Sure. Okay. So we're at our first choose your own adventure, and we choose the McCabe household for some weird reason. Also, when you pull out of Proctor's Street, so like Washington Street is like the main road that cuts through Canton, and it's like this is the main road. Canton Police Department is on that main road, and then everything is basically like off the main road. So like all these little roads, just every like 30 feet, there's just like another side street going this way and that way. When you pull out of Proctor's driveway, you just go straight and you go straight across, and then you're at Jen's house. So he chose the closest option, which I guess I can give him that.
You just mentioned. Prior to January 29th, 2022, had you ever met or were you aware of either Jennifer McCabe or Kerry Roberts or Karen Reed or John O'Keefe?
I've never met any of them.
And at some point subsequent, did you have occasion to meet and speak with Ms. Reed?
Yes,
And do you see Ms. Reed in the courtroom today?
I do.
Just for clarification purposes, if you could identify as to where she's seated or an article of clothing that she's wearing.
She's seated between Mr. Jackson and Mr. Yannetti wearing a pinstripe sport coat.
Just ask the record reflect identification of the defendant.
Yes.
Now, after you speak with Sergeant Good, did you speak with anybody else at the Canton Police Station?
No.
And where did yourself and Sergeant Mechanic go from there?
We then traveled to the home of Matthew and Jennifer McCabe.
Now, with reference to when I say you and Sergeant Mechanic, at how long a period of time was it that you were with Sergeant Buchanan on that date of January 29th?
It's from 10 a.m. approximately when we met at Canton Police Department until we returned to the Canton Police Department that afternoon around 5:30 in the afternoon. So all day. And we also had a debrief meeting with just the troopers in my office at Canton PD. So at least from 10 to 6, 7, because we also went back to the office with some evidence.
And so from that entire time, from 10 in the
evidence.
Does anybody believe that at the Canton Police Department, in their office, there were no Canton police? Like there was no, none of the recused people popped in. Okay, sure. So we're going to Jen McCabe's house now. Some weird reason.
morning until later on in the night, other than maybe short drives in individual cars. Were you essentially with Sergeant Buchanan that entire day?
Yes, we used Sergeant Buchanan's pickup.
Also, you'll see that Lally's going to ask a lot of questions that are going to be like, were you ever alone? Were you ever unsupervised? Like the lead detective should be able to be unsupervised when they're investigating a case. But Lally had to make it really clear, like Michael Proctor had a babysitter at all times.
Okay.
Truck that entire day. I left my personal vehicle at the police department and I rode with Sergeant Buchanan all day and into the evening.
Now, from the Canton Police Station, where did you and Sergeant Buchanan go?
The McCabe's house in Canton.
And who, if anyone, did you speak with there?
We spoke with Matthew and Jennifer McCabe as well as Brian Albert.
And those interviews that you conducted, were they how were they conducted?
One-on-one, Sergeant Buchanan and myself kind of rotated out Jennifer, Matthew, and Brian. So first we interviewed Jennifer, and then once that was completed, we had her step out, go to a separate room, brought in Matthew, and then the same thing with Brian.
And for the balance of the interviews that you conducted several interviews over the course of your investigation in this case. Is that correct?
Correct.
And for those interviews, as far as individual.
Just also need to say, of course, there was no body cam turned on. None of these were recorded. But we are going to take a look at their report in a second.
Done.
Do they have body cams there?
With each of the.
Yeah. The Massachusetts State Police do have body
Oh,
cams.
yeah, that's right. I keep forgetting he's Massachusetts State Police.
Yeah, and you know what's really interesting? I went over all the like FOIA documents that we've gotten so far, and at the verdict, all of their body cams were turned on. We have like hours and hours and hours of body cam footage from every single officer that was at the verdict day, just hanging out, like pink shirt, happy people celebrating the fact that Karen Reed was found not guilty. But no, none of these are recorded.
People that you interviewed over the course of the investigation?
Yes, each interview conducted was either with Sergeant Mechanic or another trooper in one-on-one, with the exception of Julie and Chris Albert, I believe, were in the same room as us.
Now, with respect to, I believe you just answered it, but as far as each of the interviews that you conducted over the
They recorded Brian Walsh and his mom, and also those recordings are wild because his kids were like swearing and like doing crazy stuff.
Who's Brian Walsh?
Your investigation.
He chopped up his wife.
Oh, I
Allegedly.
wasn't there for
Well,
that
I
one.
guess. Yeah.
Was it at any point in time, was there an interview that you conducted just by yourself?
There was just one.
And who was that one that you conducted by yourself?
That took place just at the grand jury across the street. It was the Currans. I had some difficulty locating them, so when they appeared for grand jury, I interviewed them one-on-one by myself prior to their testimony at grand jury.
You had attempted to meet with them prior to them coming to the grand jury, is that correct?
Yes,
And they had not been responsive to that?
correct.
However, they were responsive to the summons, and so you interviewed them before they went into the grand jury, correct?
Yes.
Other than those, as far as Mr. and Mrs. Curran, every interview that you conducted was in the presence of at least one other trooper?
Correct.
Dude, baby shot.
Okay, we get it. You were supervised. Okay, we're gonna pause his.
But who were the other troopers and stuff? That's what I would want to know. Did they hear the same thing? Sorry.
Who were the other? Yeah, sure. It's all made up. But here we go. We're gonna look at his report now.
Proctor's or O'Malley's or whatever the attorney's name is, because he sounds like he's making up reports.
I know he does. Okay.
Where did
So-
604 come in? Did I miss 604 again?
604 is when Jen called 911. So this isn't part of, I don't know why that part is important. I guess he's setting the scene. He's giving us some background before he
But
was
Ken
involved.
didn't get the call. The other jurisdiction did.
Yeah. Okay. So,
Is this typical? Is this? I'm sorry. This is not real life. Oh my gosh, my head hurts. I need to take a Tylenol.
but I want to do this so that you know what he knew at the time and when he was making each one of these very weird decisions. So it says that Jen McCabe called 911. They found John. John was taken to Good Samaritan. Prior to being discovered, the victim was at Waterfall Bar, which is
Time out. I'm sorry here. That first sentence, called the police department, called 911 for a male party.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I bet Jimmy, never mind.
I mean, this is.
I just imagine Danny DeVito and Friends. I know you've seen
It's
that
all
one.
downhill from there too. Yes, I have.
Okay. I got one.
I've seen every episode of Friends like 400 times. Okay, so here we go. Now he's going to get some new information. So present at the Waterfall Bar and the residence on Fairview Road was Jennifer McCabe. Sergeant Buchanan and I met with Jennifer at her house on January 29th, 2022 at 11:30 a.m. and agreed to speak with investigators. That sentence makes no sense because the subject of the sentence is Sergeant Yuri Buchanan and I. So what he's saying is that he and Yuri agreed to speak to investigators, but we'll ignore that for now. Jennifer and her husband, Matt, arrived at the Waterfall Bar in Canton at approximately 9 p.m. on Friday, January 28th. At the waterfall, they met a group of friends for drinks, food, and watched a live band. At approximately 11 p.m., John O'Keefe and Karen entered the waterfall from C.F. McCarthy's bar. Jennifer and John have been friends for a long time and met Karen when the two started dating 2 years ago. John walked into the waterfall wearing a baseball hat, jeans, and sneakers. Jennifer observed Karen walk. No. And also, I should point out that he did this interview on January 29th, but he didn't write this report until April 6th. So take that with a grain of salt.
You've been you've been part of a social organization, right? You know, they have a chairman, they have a vice chairman, the treasurer, they have a secretary.
Yes.
You ever been a secretary for? Okay. Were you
No.
ever the secretary?
No, I was the director of operations.
I don't know what that means, but we'll say like that's the top person. So the top person and the secretary are the two most important people in the organization. The secretaries should go home and write down every single thing. They should do their notes at that moment because that is the best advice I was ever given on being a secretary for that. And then don't do it. Of an organization.
You don't understand. 3 months was quick. There were a lot of other reports that they literally never wrote or never did until 18 months after. So 3 months was quick. That was fast.
I cannot tell you without looking at a calendar what 18 months ago was.
But okay, they see John walk in. Jennifer observed Karen walk into the bar holding a drinking glass with a vodka mixed drink inside. Weird detail. That she left C.F. McCarthy's with. So we're already framing Karen. Jennifer stated that there were no arguments amongst Karen and John or anyone else inside of the waterfall. Jennifer stated John and Karen did not appear to be overly intoxicated when they arrived. I just lost my place. As the band was cleaning up, Brian Albert invited everyone back to his house at 34 Fairview Road in Canton. As everyone began to leave the waterfall, Jennifer observed John and Karen leave together. John texted Jennifer at approximately 12:14 asking where to. Jennifer responded to John's text with the address, 34 Fairview. Jennifer spoke with John at 12:14 a.m. and provided him the address, even though she just texted it to him. So I don't know why he did that. At 12:18 a.m., John called Jennifer to inquire where exactly the house was on 34 Fairview. On Fairview Road. While at Fairview Road, Jennifer observed a large black SUV on the street outside of the house and went to the front door. The black SUV did not pull into the driveway, but parked on the street by the entrance of the driveway. This is very important. Parked on the street by the entrance of the driveway.
Who's the black SUV? Do we know that one?
Karen.
I thought she had a white one. I'm sorry.
No.
Okay.
That's why eyewitness testimony is not reliable. The black SUV did not pull into the driveway, blah, blah, blah. Jennifer observed the black SUV parked out front and texted John, "Hello, pull up behind me." That's actually not what she said, but that's fine. At 12:31 a.m., Jennifer texted John again at 12:40 a.m., "Hello, where are you?" And then again at 12:45 a.m., "Hello." That's weird, but we're just giving everybody grace tonight. Maybe they're all just weird. When Jennifer sent the last text to John, she observed the black SUV drive away. So this is very, we need to pay attention to how important that
I need Rose little Matchbox car or Hot Wheels.
When Jennifer sent the last text.
What Rose? What Rose?
When Jennifer sent the text at 12:45, hello, then she observed, that means with your eyes, observed the black SUV drive away. So she assumed Karen and John went home. So here's the thing. Remember, we're giving everybody grace tonight. So we're even going to give her grace that Karen was already connected to the Wi-Fi at John's house at 12:36. That we're in a different level of the multiverse. We're even going to give her grace on that. But she says, I observed the black SUV drive away. Now, if you observe the black SUV drive away, either you are now physically staring at a man who just got hit by a car laying directly in front of your line of sight, or let's pretend they like to say like she wasn't looking for that. Okay, fine. Let's pretend she's not looking for that. She observed somebody drive very erratically because they just on purpose in their story ran somebody over. But she didn't say any of those things. She just said, and then I observed the black SUV drive away, so I assumed that Karen and John went home. Okay, fine. We're giving everybody grace. We're just going to take your story at face value, even though it makes no sense. But at any point so far in this story, are you, the investigator, saying, oh, John was hit by a car?
Well, yeah, because Jen told me to.
Well, we're just giving everybody, we're taking this at face value. Did Jen at any point in this say, I saw John get hit by a car? We are in Proctor's head right now. So we're just taking
I got you. So this is the accident report. This is the accident report, right?
Well, this is the police report. The accident report was from Professor Rutrow. But do you get what I'm saying? So like,
yes, I do. And my brain is hurting. So
well,
can I
make it hurt less because you're Proctor. Yeah. So you actually have to not think. You're only putting into your brain just what Proctor knows in this moment. So all you know right now, okay, you're Proctor. You don't think too hard about things. All you do is whatever somebody tells you, that's all you know. So all he knows at this point is there was a man in the snow. They think it might have been a medical issue, and he's now pronounced dead. He was at the waterfall, and then Jen watched the car that he had been in drive away. So Jen assumed that they must have gone home. That's all we know so far. There's no other facts other than that. Your brain is empty.
Yeah, very, very innocent. I mean, why would there be anything nefarious, right?
Well, at this point, it's just like, oh, well, then this is a real mystery because, like, now he's dead in that same spot, but you're saying that you saw the car that he was in drive away. So, like, we've got a mystery on our hands. Maybe he went out for a walk in the morning like I did, and he walked by and he happened to have a medical issue at that exact spot, just coincidentally. Like, there are still, in this moment in time, like, the world is Proctor's oyster. Anything could have happened. A plow could have hit him, and then a wolf could have tore up his arm. He doesn't know about the dog
saw him get there. Yeah, nobody saw him get there. I'm overthinking it. That's the problem. Nobody saw him there. Nobody saw him there, right?
Kind of. I mean, Jen just said it kind of yes and kind of no, because Jen tells Proctor, I did see Karen and John pull up at the house, and then they were outside for weirdly long time, and I just stared at them. The lawn's not that big. So like Jen is 20 feet from them. And now in Jen's story, they've been in the car for like 20 minutes, 25 minutes, because they go from 12:18. John shows up 2 minutes after that. And then at 12:45, she says that he drove away. So for 25 minutes in Jen's story, she just stood 30 feet from them and were like, just stood there staring at them and was like, I wonder why they're not coming inside. That's weird. So all we know right now, we're Proctor. Our head is full of hot air except for this. Yes. Thanks for raising your hand.
It was a Lexus GX, correct?
Lexus
big one?
LX 570.
LX 570, not the GX. LX 570. Sorry.
Okay.
I'm on to something different. Sorry.
No, don't be on to anything. Right now, we're only Proctor. Your brain is literally empty except for you're starting the investigation. You don't get to do anything more than what he did. So all he's doing right now, we're just where he is. So all he knows is they were at the waterfall. Then Karen and John showed up at 34 Fairview. Jen stared at them for 25 minutes and then they drove away. Okay, let's keep going. Jennifer stated that John did not reply to any of her text messages. Jennifer stated she first observed the vehicle parked on the street by the driveway, facing the direction towards Chapman Street. So that means like the passenger side towards the house. Jennifer then observed the vehicle travel along the road toward the left side of the property in the area of where John was discovered in the morning. Jennifer and her husband left the residence at approximately 1:30 a.m. and went home. So now you, the investigator, are like, well, wait, Karen drove home. John clearly didn't because he was dead right there. And now I have other people that were in the area at a closer time to when we found out that he was dead. But we ignore that, I guess, because we're Proctor. And moving on. At approximately 4:53 a.m. on January 29th, Jennifer received a call from John's niece. Karen was on the phone. So Karen didn't have Jen's number yet. So Karen uses John's niece's phone, calls Jen. Karen was on the phone, hysterical and looking for John. Karen told Jennifer that she went home alone last night and saw John at the waterfall bar. Jennifer had to correct Karen and told her that they left the waterfall bar together and went to 34 Fairview. Jennifer told Karen to come to her house, and then they will go look for John together. Karen arrived at Jennifer's house in her black Lexus SUV. Jennifer stated she drove Karen's car back to John's house where Kerry Roberts met them. That part's just not true, but we're giving them all grace. While driving back to John's house, Karen stated to Jennifer, "Could I have hit him? Did I hit him?" Karen also told Jennifer about a broken taillight on her black SUV. Once Karen, Jennifer, and Kerry arrived at John's house, they looked at the broken taillight. Jennifer stated she observed a broken/cracked right taillight to Karen's SUV. Okay, so now we know Karen had a cracked taillight and said to Jen, "Could I have hit him? Did I hit him?" So, like, I could ask you right now, like, could I have just flown out the window? The answer is no. The answer is no, but
I
like,
don't know.
could I have? Sure.
Maybe. I don't know anymore.
Um, Jennifer and Karen got into Carrie's vehicle to go look for John. Karen was in the back seat. Jen sat in the front passenger seat. Jennifer described the weather at this time as snowing heavily. Sure, it wasn't really, but whatever. Jennifer stated that the first place they went to look for John was at 34 Fairview Road. They traveled down Chapman Street and took a right onto Fairview. Just prior to the front yard at 34 Fairview is a group of trees on the left side. Immediately passing the group of trees, Karen stated, "I see him." Jennifer stated that with the heavy snow, her and Carrie could not see John and did not know what Karen was talking about. The three exited the vehicle. Carrie began wiping snow off John. Blah, 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 blah. That the rest is not that important. So now is the first time that we have even a mention of Karen said, "Could I have hit him?" Which is not the same thing as saying, like, I hit him. While we're at it, let's see what Brian Albert said.
Oh, God. This is the one that leaves his farm, right?
That what?
It's the one that lost his gun.
No,
No,
Brian
which
Albert
Albert side?
owns Brian. That's
Oh.
Kevin Albert. Brian
Yeah.
Albert owns the home at 34 Fairview. Or owned. Okay. So same thing at the beginning. He agreed to speak to them. Okay. Brian and his wife, Nicole, arrived at Waterfall Bar at 10 to meet some friends. That's a weird sentence this isn't for you, but for the chat, because they did not arrive together, but sure. Brian only met John O'Keefe a few times and did not know Karen Reed. Brian stated that when John and Karen entered the bar, they appeared to be in a good mood and did not observe any arguing amongst the two or with anyone else. While speaking with John at the bar, Brian stated he did not appear to be intoxicated and he did not speak with Karen. When Brian and Nicole left the bar to go home, John and Karen were still inside. Brian stated he did not know John and Karen were coming to his house. Now, hold on for just a second, because Jennifer just told him, as the band was cleaning up, Brian Albert invited everyone back to his house at 34 Fairview. So Brian says he didn't know they were coming. Jen says he invited everyone. Brian stated he would have welcomed them inside if they arrived, but did not know they were coming over. So now Jen's been at the door for 25 minutes in her story. And Brian's like, I had no idea they were coming over. I would have welcomed them inside. Brian stated he did not see a vehicle out front of his house, did not know John and Karen were outside, and did not hear any loud noises from the street. So again, if we're taking Jen's facts as facts, Karen and John were outside for 25 minutes in her story, and Brian Albert had no idea. And that's his whole report.
I hurt. I physically hurt from this.
And now we're going to go back to Proctor's testimony. Should we take a fervent break? Do we feel like we need a little break?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, can I walk around for a second, get some water?
Yeah.
Holy cow.
We're going to take a little fervent break.
You know what I was looking up, though, bro? The most popular color of the, and it's the same with the LX 570. You know what the most popular color of that car SUV is?
What?
Black.
That makes sense. What color is your car?
Mine?
Mm-hmm.
I don't have a Lexus SUV.
No, but just what color is your car?
Orange. Where'd we go? Are we gone?
Where'd we go? I was getting ready for fervent.
I didn't do that, did I?
No, I did that.
I have an orange car with a rebel flag on top.
Do you really?
It has a name too. You want to know the name of it? General Lee.
What? What?
General Lee.
Cool.
Oh my gosh, it's so lost. So lost.
Okay, we're gonna take a fervent break.
Do you
We'll
know
do
who
2 songs and then
Daisy
we'll come
Duke? Daisy Duke? Do you know anything about the Dukes of Hazzard?
I know that Jessica Simpson was
Love
in a
you,
version
Ham.
of it.
I do love you. You are so amazing. You are. I love every bit, because you know what? I can't make jokes because they're lost, and there's something about that makes me have to try harder, and I like it. I have to go start watching Friends.
I had to, my very first stream I ever did on here, I had to be like, you guys, don't try because I don't know what you're talking about. Okay,
Watch that.
fervent break. See you soon.
The life of a proctor defender. Send some text that might offend you. Lose your gun while you're out on a bender. That's the life of a proctor defender. That's the life of a proctor defender. That's the life of a proctor defender. I don't even know why this is in the news. All of y'all are acting like prudes. Who doesn't like looking at nudes and sharing those nudes with the whole damn crew? Don't come at me with quid pro quo. I love that man, no homo. Not one text that he planted evidence. That means that it is so evident there's no corruption, so what's the relevance? The feds found nothing except for these messages. They say there was a conflict of interest, but really we all had a common interest. Frame Karen Reed and we're in the clear. Then work with Kev on a cold case of beer. The life of a proctor defender. Send some text that might offend you. Lose your gun while you're out on a bender. That's the life of a proctor defender. That's the life of a proctor defender. That's the life of a proctor defender. Please judge, don't let these texts out. He's been through enough and he's really stressed out. He's got Kerry Roberts backing him up, got Matt McKay backing him up, the district attorney backing him up, and Yuri, yeah, he gave a thumbs up. How about the Emmy? Not so much. How about all the laws of physics? Not so much. How about Michael Easter? Not so much. How about common sense? Definitely not. The silent majority aren't on Twitter. For my man Chip, my hands on the trigger. Today in Canton, it's time to kill some.
No, sorry, Proctor, I can't say that.
The life of a proctor defender. Send some text that might offend you. Lose your gun while you're out on a bender. That's the life of a proctor defender.
Here, Bear, take the mic. Tell him how you feel.
Bitch, get out of line. I call her a whack job. Then I wonder why I got fired from my last job. All these Twitter trolls say I'm looking like a fat slob. Tell the FKR crew they're gayer than the flash mob. If I go to jail, please pick the right cellmate, cause I probably pissed off every single inmate. They say orange is the new black, and as you know, I don't really like black. I can't help that. They annoy me. The only hood I like is white and pointy. Oh!
Okay, Jesus, Bear, please step away from the mic. White and pointy.
Stop, you're making it worse. It's hard to defend you sometimes. The life of a proctor defender.
We be busting taillight in the cannon Sally port, drinking out of solo cups up in the Sally port, reviewing grainy footage up in the Sally port, keep my shopping bags up in the Sally port. Pauly G said they hold liquid terrifically. There must be a reason he made 300 G's. Said it would be over if she just copped the plea. Now it's a whole episode and we're on season 3. Yeah, we're talking Karen Reed, and even though she's free, she can't get rid of these goddamn O'Keefes. Cause how can Paul get laid if there ain't a trial 3? We be busting taillight in the cannon Sally port, drinking out of solo cups up in the Sally port, reviewing grainy footage up in the Sally port, keep my shopping bags up in the Sally port. Organics dancing drunk, getting lit to Creed. Tully still in Cali, interviewing Natalie. Proctor's lost his job, calling up Morrissey, wondering when and what went wrong with his auto delete. Hey Proctor, I got a question for you. Who's the whack job cutting out? Now get your leaky balloon out in the unemployment line. We be busting taillight in the cannon Sally Port, drinking out of solo cups up in the Sally Port, reviewing grainy footage up in the Sally Port. Keep my shopping bags up in the Sally Port.
I'm here somewhere. Where am I? Whoa. Fervent. That Proctor song just gets better every single time I hear it. I was just like Sparkly Rabbit, just doing my own little dance party back here.
Oh, I did dance. Again, but sorry.
I think we're gonna listen to that one more time before the night is over. Not the Canton Sally Port, that one's fun, but the Proctor one we might need to. Okay. I'm gonna skip ahead a little bit because actually we're gonna do one other thing first. We're gonna jump ahead to an interview that Proctor did after after Karen was acquitted, where he kind of explains his thought process in this moment. Oh, or I could read Zach's super chat. Hold on. That one we did. Zach was being really helpful in teaching Cindy how to do super chats. And then he said, a man was in the snow. The guy never went in the house. Chloe was it. Very personable folks, huh? Very perceptive, Zach. Side-Eye Jess has been a member for 3 months and said, Squirrel School with lots of hearts. Love that. And Wildcats 28 sent $2 and said, but what is it? A high top table. That part we are never going to watch because I can't even do that to you to make you watch.
I love high top tables.
Adam Lally questioned, whatever you do when you're the whatever Lally is.
Question.
My brain's gonna stop working soon.
It did. Mine got fried. Sorry, not last one.
He asked every single person like 47 questions about the layout of the waterfall, if they were at the high top table or the long table, if they had what they were drinking, why they were drinking that. Like, is that what you normally drink? Like, it's a whole thing. Anyways, this is Proctor. So we're going in, we're all in Proctor's head. And just a reminder, we are asking ourselves this question: what did Proctor know at the time? So at the time right now, we know that, oh, that was so nice, Goodmans. Thank you. And we know that we are Proctor. We know that Karen said to Jen, could I have hit him? Did I hit him? The answer is no, you didn't, babe. He didn't get hit by a car. So no, the answer is no, but not in this world. So now here's where Proctor's head was at. And guys, if you haven't seen this, anybody who hasn't seen this yet, this is some genius right here. We are about to see a genius at work. Are you ready?
Wait, Proctor's the genius?
Mm-hmm. Full, true genius.
This
I've
is
already
the very
got
first
one
time
page.
Proctor is speaking public.
Okay. Are you ready? Lock in.
Is that his house? Is that his house? Is he? Oh wait,
No.
no. I know there's. Okay, that's not his house. That's a studio.
No, I actually think I
Airbnb.
had heard that. No, I think they're at his sister's house here. I think that is his sister's house. because they're at one point in this interview, they're in the backyard and there's like dogs there. I don't think that like a studio would bring in dogs. Somebody had said this was his sister's house. I don't know that for sure, but word on the street. Okay.
Now I'm being judgy about the way it's decorated.
Well, you see how much weight he gained from, so maybe Lizzie is a good cook. Okay.
Hey, you know what? I'm not going to say anything about weight gain.
No, I'm just saying, I was saying that Lizzie wasn't a good cook, but like maybe she actually is. It was a compliment.
There's no curtains back there.
They need Adam Lally to come bring in some curtains. Okay, lock in. This is a 1 minute. This is a 1 minute clip, and every minute of it is just pure genius. Like, get ready for your mind to be blown at what a genius this is.
This is the very first time that Proctor is speaking publicly in an interview about this case. He tells me about those moments when he and his colleague, Sergeant Yuri Buchanan, first head to the Canton Police Department. Does it change the nature of the investigation when you know that the deceased is a cop?
No, nor should it. There's a little more emotion involved.
Proctor and Buchanan head to the hospital now to see John's body. Proctor says at the hospital they realize O'Keefe had been found wearing only one shoe.
And the reason that became important, or was important at the time, during my training and experience, I've been to pedestrian strikes where both shoes are right at the point of impact.
So the body gets hit, but the shoes get left at the point of impact.
I've seen them where people get ripped completely out of their clothing, and their clothes.
The genius here, we're gonna just take it back for a second. The shoe thing is true. So and that it actually, like, that kind of makes a ton of sense. If you're hit by something going very fast, your body is not attached to your shoes, and it would make sense that, like, if your body goes flying, like, your shoes might stay exactly where you were hit. That part makes sense. Now he is saying he has been to pedestrian accidents where the person hit is ripped entirely out of their clothes. They're naked now. So they get hit by a car. Their shoes stay here. Their pants stay here. I could even get behind that. Their shirt somehow comes up over their head and lands in all of it is right there in the same spot. And now they're naked because
that was very common in Looney Tunes, Bugs Bunny cartoons.
Wait, I literally tweeted once, did they go to Looney Tunes Academy?
I can't believe, did you really?
Yeah.
I can't believe that, because doesn't that seem it's like Bugs Bunny, or whatever takes off, and it's like
Roadrunner.
Yeah,
it's all very Looney Tunes. Yeah, 100%. But no, this is what he learned from his training and experience. He's learned that you could get ripped right out of your clothing. Also, hold on. I just need to show you that it was crazy that you just said that, because
I swear that's. We had Officer Scooby-Doo.
I said, Michael Proctor says he's seen pedestrian strikes where people are ripped completely out of their clothing and all of their clothes stay at the point of impact. A, the Police Academy in Massachusetts is taught by Wile E. Coyote and the rest of the Looney Tunes. B, every person in Proctor's life is so stupid that he's forgotten that the general public isn't. There is no other plausible explanation for why he would say something so absurd on primetime TV, and there is zero excuse for why Matt Gutman didn't burst out laughing in his face. And then
I had no idea. I don't read my own tweets. Why would I read yours? Oh my gosh.
Yay, another proud graduate.
This is completely organic.
Academy.
We don't talk about these things before this starts or anything. This is I'm sorry, crazy. You're going on there.
No, that was crazy. Okay. So let's just finish that clip. Very, very smart genius.
Proctor and Buchanan head to the hospital now to see John's body. Proctor says at the hospital they realize O'Keefe had been found wearing only one shoe.
And the reason that became important, or was important at the time, during my training and experience, I've been to pedestrian strikes where both shoes are right at the point of impact.
The body gets hit, but the shoes get left at the point of impact.
I've seen them where people get ripped completely out of their clothing, and their clothes are at the point of impact.
Sure. Okay. Emily Ahern said Ahrens, not Ahrens. Ahrens? Emily Ahrens said ARCA needs to do an experiment on this clothing thing. I volunteer Dr. Wolf to be the crash test dummy. Okay. Back to, nope, that's not at all what I just wanted to do. Back to, oh, I was in it. Never mind.
So, see, you're the dim.
The pants and shirt are still standing up.
Right. And then they catch up in the next frame. They catch up to the character. What happens to the underwear? Does the underwear come off too? Some women wear a contraption called a brassiere, or like a I think a bra, maybe is it for short. And it has hooks.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Like mechanical hooks.
And like,
do those go flying off?
Apparently. What if it's a sports bra? That's even harder.
Oh, then it's all elastic.
Yeah, but no, it all comes off. You are naked. Just
Do your feelings
every time
come
somebody.
out?
Interesting, Chad. I don't know. I don't think well, sure, maybe Proctor picks up the shoe to plant it later. The other one is gone. Maybe, we'll see. Okay, so now we are going to the hospital. We have Bob is my name just said, if you FOIA Berkey and Rafferty's phone records from January 29th, case closed. So we have a FOIA request out right now. This is the one that I spotted loophole lawyer, $350 and have not been paid back yet. But now I kind of understand why I haven't been paid back yet, because Canton got back to them and basically said, so this is for Ken Berkowitz's phone records. And they basically said, oh, we quoted you $350. Actually, it's going to be like $2,000, like something crazy, which makes me think that you might be right, Bob. And the question now was like, are they going to ask Canton to just refund my check? And so that's why Vince has not paid me back yet. So we're less mad about that.
Can you not go down and look at the files yourself? Are y'all not allowed to do that? Our
No.
sunshine laws at one point were very liberal in Tennessee. That's why we used to not charge anything at all.
Massachusetts charges for the like labor for having to like redact blah blah blah. Anyways, yeah, loophole didn't have a checkbook. Anyways, so but we do, so that I agree that I think that would be a very interesting FOIA request. Hopefully we end up getting, so now Corey and I were talking about like narrowing the scope of that. So instead of asking for, I forget what the original scope was, but instead of asking for like January 29th to his death date, rest in peace, Berkey.
They'll be out in the civil trial.
Well, this is what's weird too, is there's a lot of things, I was talking about this morning, there's a lot of things that are impounded because of the civil trial, but we can request them as a FOIA request, but the like Aiden can't share them because of the civil trial. So like he has a lot of these documents. And then we have to just kind of like make guesses and be like, okay, let's try this. Anyways, here we go. We're on our way to the hospital.
After the interviews at the McCabe household, Sergeant Buchanan and I traveled to Good Samaritan Hospital for two reasons. One, we knew Miss Reed was there receiving treatment for Section 12. And two, we wanted to view Mr. O'Keefe.
Now, on the Choose Your Own Adventure scale, that one kind of makes sense to me. It might have also made sense to go to 34 Fairview, but going to a hospital where another witness, not defendant, not culprit, whatever, but another witness is Karen is sectioned there right now, and John is there. And that good decision. You went to the right place for once.
And when you arrived at the Good Samaritan Hospital, was the defendant, Ms. Reed, still at that facility at that time?
We'd spoke with the security staff at Good Samaritan Hospital. They informed us that Miss Reed was released.
I'll allow it, just as to where you went.
That Miss Reed was released several hours prior to our arrival.
And do you know about what time it was that you arrived, yourself and Sergeant Mechanic, at the Good Samaritan?
Maybe approximately 1 o'clock.
And
just so you guys know, I gotta let this play for a sec. Carter just woke up. I'll be back when he's not up. So enjoy for a little while.
You want me to just entertain? I'm not very entertained, but I'll just talk to heck there, right?
That was to view Mr. O'Keefe, correct?
That's correct.
And did you have occasion, or did you have a chance to view Mr. O'Keefe's body at the Good Samaritan?
We did.
And where was that within the hospital?
That was in the emergency room.
And when you went to where Mr. O'Keefe was, can you describe for the jury what, if any, observations you made of Mr. O'Keefe's body at the time that you observed?
The first thing I noticed on Mr. O'Keefe is he had abrasions on his right arm. On the top of his right arm is approximately 6 to 8, ranging from his forearm to his lower bicep. There was no injuries underneath that forearm. Both eyes were swollen and black and blue. He had a cut on, I believe it was his right nostril. Another smaller cut, I believe it was on his left eye. Those are the injuries that kind of jumped out to me.
At any point in time, did you make any observations of the back of Mr. O'Keefe's head while you were there?
Yeah. I did observe blood on the back of the head. I wasn't able to tell if there's any significant trauma to the back of his head.
Now, from the Good Samaritan Hospital, yourself and Sergeant Buchanan, what, if any, items did you secure in evidence from the Good Samaritan Hospital?
So after we viewed Mr. O'Keefe's body, we observed a pile of clothes in the corner that hospital staff had cut off Mr. O'Keefe and kind of piled into the corner. The one thing that had jumped out to both of us was one sneaker. And it's fairly common in a motor vehicle pedestrian strike that...
Sustained. Next question. I'll strike from fairly common. The observations.
As far as the clothing that you observed, can you describe the clothing that you observed?
Yes. We observed one black sneaker with the Nike logo.
Swoosh. It's called a swoosh.
Blue jeans, a belt, boxer shorts, an orange T-shirt, and a two-tone gray, light kind of hooded sweatshirt type of material.
One of the tone's blood.
Now, Trooper Proctor, over the course of your career responding to unattended deaths or death investigations as a member, as a detective of the unit, how many of those have involved situations where a pedestrian was struck by a motor vehicle?
Well, I've been in the unit, maybe 3 or 4, and then I've other experiences on the road.
And as far as the other experiences on the road, can you expound upon those as far as how many or over what time period we're talking about?
It was about 6 years I spent on the road, so maybe another 3 or 4.
And with reference to those pedestrian crashes, what, if anything, have you seen in those prior investigations in regard to sneakers or footwear of pedestrians involved in motor vehicle crashes?
Objection. I'm going to see you at sidebar on this.
See, John?
Yes.
I'd be like, what does this have to do with this?
Prior experience with pedestrian crashes involving motor vehicles. What, if any, observations have you made on those prior occasions in regard to the footwear with respect to the pedestrians in motor vehicle crashes?
In those experiences, I've observed one, if not both, pieces of footwear remained at the point of
Unmuted?
impact.
Am I muted?
And so with respect to your observations of the clothing, there only being one sneaker in Mr. O'Keefe's property, what, if any, significance did that have to you as far as the sort of steps you took subsequent in your investigation?
That was just a
Thanks.
little piece of evidence that Sergeant Mechanic and I
Really?
picked up that only one piece of footwear.
Every accident's
the
different.
potential of a vehicle strike.
You can't imply it
Now,
totally
addition
across
to
the
Sergeant
board.
Mechanic is one of your
There's just
supervisors
differences.
in the detective unit, is that correct?
Yes,
And there's another one, a Lieutenant Brian Tully.
that's correct.
Now, with respect to the one sneaker that was found in Mr. O'Keefe's property, what, if anything, with regard to that, communicate to Lieutenant Tully?
Objection.
As to how it goes to the investigation,
Yes.
I'll allow it.
Sergeant Mechanic and I informed DLT Tully that there was one shoe at the hospital.
And with respect to Detective Lieutenant Tully, are you aware that subsequently in the afternoon that there was a search that was conducted in the area of 34 Fairview Road where Mr. O'Keefe was found?
Yes.
And are you aware of what, if anything, was recovered in the area where Mr. O'Keefe was found on that day?
Objection.
I'll allow it as to the investigation.
Yes.
And what are you aware?
We were informed, Sergeant Mechanic and I were informed that SIR team and Detective Lieutenant Tully discovered a black Nike sneaker with the white swoosh logo that was a match to Mr. O'Keefe's shoe at the hospital.
Trooper, in addition to the shoe that you've already referenced, what, if anything else, did you observe about what kind of clothing and the condition of the clothing that you observed in the hospital?
The clothing seemed, it was wet. It was pretty well saturated.
With?
Right sleeve had some like cuts to it, like tears to it. There's like blood and vomit on it, if I recall. Those were the observations I had made of the clothing. And they had been cut due to rendering first aid as well, the pants area.
Now, subsequent to viewing these clothing items at the hospital at a later time, did you have occasion to observe surveillance video from a variety of places on the evening of January 28th into the early morning of January 29th depicting Mr. O'Keefe?
Yes.
And what, if anything, did you note with regard to the clothing that you observed at the hospital and the clothing that you observed in the video?
So the videos I reviewed at C.F. McCarthy's bar and the Waterfall bar were the same clothes Mr. O'Keefe was wearing that Sergeant Mechanic and I had secured at Good Samaritan Hospital.
Now, Trooper, I'm going to ask you some questions just in regard to securing these items specifically as evidence, but in general terms, as far as securing evidence within your unit. How is that accomplished? How is that done? What do you do with items that you deem of evidentiary value that you then secure?
Generally, if we take an item for evidence, we'll put it in a brown paper bag, document it, time, date, who secured that item, address, where it's discovered, and then we'll bring that back to our office, to the evidence processing area.
Okay, crisis averted. I just need to say what Lally just did was so sneaky, because he was going in order of the day of the investigation and kind of like following this question of like, what does Proctor know at this time? What does Proctor know at this time? And then Lally really sneakily jumped ahead to when the shoe was recovered at 8 p.m. that night or 5 p.m. that night, and made it seem like they already matched the shoe. There was already a shoe at the scene and now there's one at the hospital. And then also that they already knew like what clothes they were looking for from the bar just very sneaky.
Wait a second, hold on. I'm confused. What's your, I guess, what's your point? I don't understand what you're trying to tell
My
me.
point is that I think Lally is misleading the jury. Like, I think he's trying. Lally is not just like prosecuting this as like, oh, let's just go through the investigation. He's like on their side. He's like trying to get a conviction at any cost. And I think
What's the problem with the
knows.
shoe?
Well,
I don't know.
they
All I
didn't-
know is like I think it was the last time when it was like there were like one time they pulled out and there were two right shoes. So maybe
I
I'm
mean,
looking for
everything
more of
about
an
the
answer than there is.
No,
Sorry.
it's just that he jumped ahead. So it's like saying like, oh, I was looking for the other shoe. They didn't find the other shoe in this moment. Like, they're at the hospital right now. It's not like they were looking for. He made it seem to, I think, the jury like they already knew that there was one shoe at the scene, and now they're at the hospital and they're like, oh my gosh, here's the other shoe. We knew there was one at the scene, but they don't know that there wasn't one shoe at the scene. There was no shoe found that morning. The shoe wasn't there that morning.
You know what? And this is just an opinion. I mean, it's stupid. You know, I mean, because it's coming from me. I think that what you just said, I mean, it's very astute. It's a good observation. I don't know any of the details. Remember, I'm completely, oblivious to all this. But those are things that Alan Jackson should be objecting to.
He just objected
And
to. He just objected to every single one of those questions, and Bev said overruled to every single one.
That's where I was getting to. Is like these are things that when you have objections, like remember when it first started doing this, I was like, wait a second, you're not saying why you're objecting, you're just objecting. You can't do a random objection.
Oh, Zach has a
This
game
is
for
part
us
of
that
that
we're going to
bigger
play
problem
sometime.
that we talk about, that it doesn't make you, as the interested citizen, feel secure in their ability and their competence.
Zach had a game suggestion for us that we should look at some of these objections, and you have to guess what the grounds for the objections were. We're going to play that
Oh,
sometime.
you never, I don't know if we ever could. Holy cow.
Okay, let's keep going.
She was never there. They took another one.
From there, it'll go
planted it.
to a permanent evidence room that has triple retention. It has an actual key, a key card, and an actual access code. And only
I've asked about this before.
Have access to that room. The two evidence officers and Detective Lieutenant Tully.
And at this time, in January 29th, 2022, who was assigned as the evidence officers who had access to that room?
So that'd be Trooper David Ichico and Trooper Jeffrey Kukowski.
Did either yourself or Sergeant Buchanek have any access to that evidence storage room?
No.
Now, with reference to these items that were seized and say items that were seized subsequent during the course of your investigation, did they go through that same sort of evidentiary storage process that you were speaking about before?
Yes.
Now, with reference to, in addition to the clothing items, at some point did you come into possession and seize Mr. O'Keefe's phone?
Yes.
And do you recall where it was that you received or retrieved Mr. O'Keefe's phone from?
We received it at the Canton Police Department.
And was that prior to you going to the Good Samaritan?
After, I believe.
So following the Good Samaritan, where did you go from there?
So after the Good Samaritan Hospital, Sergeant Buchanek and I traveled to 345 Country Hill Drive in Dighton.
And why did you go to that location?
That was the residence of Miss Reed's parents' home, and having a brief conversation with Miss Reed on the phone, she informed us she was at her parents' house.
So you had called Miss Reed, spoken to her, and informed her that you were coming there to speak with her, correct?
Correct.
And just as you had done with Ms. McCabe, Mr. McCabe, you spoke to Ms. Reed within her home?
Yes.
And who, if anyone else, did you reach out to on your way there with regard to local law enforcement as you were driving to Dayton?
We contacted the Dayton Police Department just for a couple of reasons. One, it's a common courtesy. If we're in another town, we just kind of give the local PD a heads up. But also, we needed to coordinate a plow truck and potentially a tow truck as well.
And why did you need to coordinate those things?
At the time, there must have been at least a foot of snow on the ground, more. And it was a dead-end cul-de-sac, so which made it difficult to navigate. So we requested the plow to clear a path for Sergeant Buchanan and I to get down the roadway, as well as clear the driveway of the residents, so the tow truck could pull into the driveway.
Now, as far as the drive from Goods.
So, in case you didn't catch that, they are leaving the hospital.
Yeah.
And they already ordered a tow truck for Karen's car. They haven't laid eyes on the car yet. So the only information that they have at this point is Jen said, could I have hit him? Did I hit him? No, you didn't. And that John had one shoe. And based on those two things, he is already ordering a tow truck. So the tow truck doesn't make sense. And here's why. Because if this was a real investigation, you go lay eyes on the car. A car could be damaged for 100,000 different reasons.
Was it damaged before?
Exactly. So they could go and they could see that Karen had a busted taillight, and that busted taillight could have been from 2 weeks ago in the Stop and Shop parking lot. If this was a real investigation, if she really had hit him, you go talk to Karen, leave, go to the scene. Oh, there's 47 pieces of taillight here. Now I'm going to go get a search warrant and go seize her car. They don't even have a search warrant yet. So it doesn't make sense.
Do they have the taillight pieces? Was that?
No.
Okay.
They can't have taillight pieces till they have her
Because
car.
they haven't gotten the car. See, okay. Emily, I'm sorry, and I know the whole sorry thing, but it's you guys have to realize where I'm at right now. I'm listening with all my focus and all my energy, and I was like, I'll sit here and I'll close my eyes, and I'm just listening to the words, and I'm thinking to myself, okay, what are the objections? Like, how do you? I'm thinking of this like. Thinking of this through court. How do you do this in court? One of my tabs I have pulled up is the federal rules of criminal procedure, because all states are kind of based on that. I know I should go straight to Massachusetts, but this is a general idea, right? I'm never going to understand Massachusetts. And then you say something so simple and you bring me back in. And this was part of the problem I was having last night with my chat. And, we started talking about the swimming pool. We started talking about the fireplace. It's like, I had to say it right. We all got caught up with it because the fact is that Karen didn't hit John. And that is the fact right now. Why did you get his car? Because she didn't hit him. At this point, there's nothing there pointing to it.
And if you were doing a real investigation, you have time. Like a real investigation takes time. You don't just get the car. And if they wanted to argue like, oh, she could have like taken it somewhere and gotten it fixed. You know how many criminals go take their car somewhere and get it fixed? And then they're like, hey, we have a receipt from so-and-so mechanics that says they fixed your car. Oh, hello, Aiden. Welcome.
Oh, hey. So, hey, when I met Turtle Boy, I was very interested in his tampering with witness, the whole First Amendment thing. I just wanted to say, brother, from that moment, I've met Emily, and now I'm learning about the entire case, man. And I saw something he did the other day. I was like, man, I will not use that language on YouTube. But boy, oh boy, was it right. That's exactly how I felt at that moment.
That stream, you didn't know what you were getting into when you just popped onto Baker's stream for the fundraiser.
And I promise you, like my stuff was messed up, but the streaming software you use, it was all blank. And I'm just sitting there, and finally I was like, hey, I bet you I could go to YouTube and see who all's over here. And I was
Ever
like,
since that
okay,
moment, you just live in the rabbit hole with us. But so
oh, it's
now
crazy.
here's what dumbass Proctor knows
Good
now.
luck to you,
So they go
brother.
to
I'm
Karen
still interested.
and they go see John. They blah, blah, blah. I contacted Karen on her cell phone. I spoke with Karen and informed her that Sergeant Buchanan and I would like to meet up and have a conversation about finding the victim in the snow and the previous night's events. Karen stated that she was trying to contact attorney Jack Diamond and was not sure if she needed an attorney to speak with us. That's smart. The police are coming to talk to you. You're like, do I need a attorney?
Defense.
Like, yeah, smart. I provided Karen my work cell phone and desk dumber. That it says
Is that what you wrote?
dumber. Yeah, desk dumber. I can't highlight, but that is exactly what it says. Desk dumber. And to have attorney Diamond call me. Karen advised me she was at her parents' home and Sergeant Buchanan and I went there, blah, blah, blah. Now it actually is snowing, so they're not lying about that. During this time, I was not contacted by any attorney. So he's like, great, haha, no attorney. They show up at the Reed residence. It is 2:30 and he sees the Lexus SUV. Sergeant Buchanan and I observed the right rear taillight to be cracked.
Wait, an attorney doesn't have to. Did I just miss this? Like, once you say that you need an attorney, questioning has to stop. It's not you have to. Well, your attorney didn't call me.
Yeah, not in Proctor's eyes. Proctor was like, haha, he never called me.
Not in
Also, that guy
Massachusetts.
didn't even. That attorney is the one that, like, there's a lore online that she had texted this random attorney, somebody Diamond, and said, hey, I hit my boyfriend last night and killed him. Like, can you represent me?
I really thought you were gonna say she texted him and say, "Hoes long to die in the snow."
That too. Okay, so he says that Sergeant Buchanan and I observed the rear right taillight to be cracked and missing large pieces of plastic. Okay. Now let's go back to the fact that we know that Proctor has his phone on him because he was waiting for a call from Mr. Diamond that whole time. So he has a phone on him, and guess what phones can do? They can take pictures. So if that car was missing large pieces of plastic, the way that it is when it's finally in the Sally port, don't you think he would have taken a picture of it?
Oh, wait a second. That's evidence right there. It's like, look, that's how you cover your ass, so to speak. I mean, so you
But
say,
you
hey,
can't
look, I
cover-
saw this, and this, especially because I'm a detective. I'm trained for this. I want to make sure that you know that I did this right. There's no propriety of unclean hands here.
But you can't cover your ass if there's only a little piece of taillight missing right now. And you need there to be a lot of taillight missing because you're trying to claim that little square of taillight killed a man and bit his arm. And that's not possible if it's only
his arm.
Piece. It's also not possible if it's a big piece, but okay. So they go inside. And here's now the only other information that they learn. Karen went to the waterfall. Karen went to see if McCarthy. She went to the waterfall. John was sitting at the bar. She gave them some phone numbers of people. And John was drinking a Bud Light. She was drinking a vodka soda. Karen described the glass she was drinking out of as a vase-style glass. We're now suddenly very detailed. Karen stated her and John went over to the waterfall bar, blah, 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 blah. Karen said they didn't have any arguments. Karen stated John bumped his head 2 nights ago and asked her about it, but that was the only injury that she knew of. That's just a weird detail that we never ever hear again. I don't really understand. Karen doesn't really know what time it is, but it was probably around midnight. She drops John off at 34 Fairview.
What if he bumped his head and had a concussion, didn't know it, and then something happened, like the playing around the dog, and he fell,
Don't
and
think too
everybody
hard.
just freaked out. I know, but just what if everybody just freaked out? I don't know. I mean, at this point, this whole thing's shoots and ladders.
Because why would you freak out? Then you call 911. You'd be like, oh my God, the dog. Like,
Because they're all wasted. They don't know what they're doing. Sorry. There you go again, saying sorry. I gotta keep my mouth shut sometimes.
so now they say here, they asked Karen about the broken taillight on her vehicle and how it happened. Karen first observed the broken taillight in the morning and stated, don't know how I did it last night. Also, this is an important time to remind you, do you remember when we learned about the rubber duckies? Those really dangerous, nefarious rubber duckies? And there was a full transcript, word for word, back and forth conversation about exactly what each party said. But in this murder investigation of a Boston police officer, we just get, don't know how I did it last night is the only quote from Karen. Okay. So that's basically it. That's all we learned. Karen's like, I don't know how I broke my taillight. I dropped John off. I went home. Then I found him and was dead.
Do you usually think it's your fault on everything?
What?
Do you if something happens, do you usually think it's your fault? Like if, I don't know, the gutter falls down outside. Do you go out front and go, oh, I don't know how I did that last night?
No.
Well, it seems like everything you see of Karen is that she is automatically making it her fault. Oh,
Yeah,
I must have hit him. Oh, I don't know how I cracked my taillight.
I think that is I'm personally not like that, but I have never been in this position. But it does make sense, because why in that moment would she be like, oh, I know what happened. Like, he went into the house and they killed him and then dumped him back on the yard. Like, you would be crazy. That you would feel like a crazy person if that was your first thought. So it's it's simpler for you to be like, did I do that? And you were drinking. But the answer is no. You can ask a million questions. Like I said, I could ask, did I just fly out the window? The answer is no. I could ask it. You can ask anything you want to. The answer could be no.
Always no.
Anyways, back to Proctor. So now we're locked in. Now Proctor's I have all the information I need. Karen said she dropped John off. He had one shoe. And Jen said that she said, did I hit him? Could I have hit him? And now we are off to the races. That is everything that he could have possibly needed to know. And now we have her car and
So we left Dighton around 4:16 p.m. and arrived in Canton at the police department at approximately 5:31 p.m.
And with reference to the Canton police,
not to get too much into this right now, but he lied about those times for a very long time and then finally had to tell the truth about them because it turned out that Karen's family has surveillance video. And he wrote in his report that they left Dighton at 5:30. And if they left Dighton at 5:30, then there's no way they could have planted taillight because they found the first piece of taillight only a few minutes after 5:30. But if they leave Dighton at 4:16, then they can, just in the nick of time, get that taillight out there.
Did Deaver go on to stand before or after him?
The next trial, not even in this trial.
So okay. So he was up there saying, "Oh no, it's 5:30. It's 5:30. It's 5:30," and then he got presented information that showed him that he was wrong, and he had to no longer.
even when he got presented that information, they tried to lie and say that Karen's family hadn't changed the times of their surveillance, their like home surveillance system because of daylight savings time in January. Then it turns out that if they hadn't changed the time of daylight savings time, that would have made it an hour earlier. So it would have been 3:15 that he picked up the car. And then finally they ran out of lies. They tried every lie that they could have possibly done. And then they were like, well, shit. Okay, I guess we have to tell the truth about this one. And then they called it a Scrivener's error, which made for some very good Alan Jackson moments that we will get to at some point. But right now, the most important thing to know is that Proctor has little to no information, but we are locked in. There is no turning back now.
Garage, why was the vehicle taken there?
Oh, and also just to be clear, the Canton Police Department is already recused from this investigation, but we are taking the car to Canton. Out of all the 351 cities and towns in Massachusetts, we chose Canton, the one town that is not allowed to touch this investigation.
Okay, I forgot about that. So is that common for Massachusetts State Police that they don't have their own garage?
They do.
They just use Cantons.
Yeah, like in the Brian Walsh trial, it turns out they actually had like some like fancy evidence lockers where they could have like dried out no, they went to Canton. The one place that's recused.
Well, the last
Had that other
question.
guy
This is at
free.
Karen's parents' house, correct? What's the closest police department to that house?
They pass, what was it? Like there's a Foxborough Barracks and one other one that they said, oh, the garage was too small. As if like they could only fit like Matchbox cars in it or something. Then they said
They're not in Canton. Her parents?
Her parents live in Dighton, which is it's like 40 minutes from
So
Canton.
Dighton would have jurisdiction, wouldn't they? Of the car? Unless
That's
you get
right.
a court order?
You don't need search warrants. You don't need court orders. You don't need logic. This is Norfolk County. We just go by the vibes. As Steph Diggs' chef said.
I wasn't part of that decision, but it's my understanding that it was a heated facility. The other options were, I believe, the barracks in Milton, but that's not large enough to house a vehicle that size, and it's not heated.
And
so the Milton is like a bigger city than Canton. Like Milton is directly next to Boston. It's basically like part of Boston. Milton garage can only hold clown cars, and it's not heated, and snow doesn't melt any other way unless you can't turn the car on and have the snow melt.
They don't have
Mitchell's ready for bed. Mitchell, we're going all night.
They don't have propane heaters up there. I love that Mitchell. He doesn't care, man. He tells you exactly how it is. He tells me, he's like, "Hey, this guy's starting over here. Can you hurry up and finish us?" He's
okay.
Sorry.
Well, Mitchell, I'm going to keep going
don't
for
have
you.
heaters or anything?
Powering through. No, and also
Kerosene. Do y'all have kerosene up there?
On that topic, the Patriots play like 20 minutes down the road, and if there's like a big snowstorm the night before a Patriots game, they literally put out heaters that melt all the snow on the field so that the field is clear. But for some reason, we had to just wait and wait and wait and wait and wait for snow to melt and fall again and melt and fall again at 34 Fairview. They couldn't have shoveled it. They couldn't have heated it. Yeah. Foxborough is just hoarding all the heaters. Okay. I'm not going to interrupt again.
With regard to the heated, what was the sort of purpose or utility of storing it in a heated setting?
Miss Reed's vehicle was covered with snow and ice at the time. It was transported from Dayton to Canton.
And with regard to the Sallyport garage area of the Canton Police Department, at some point were you inside that area?
Yes.
And what, if any, observations did you make as far as the temperature or the heating within that facility?
I don't remember the exact, I couldn't put like a ballpark on temperature, but it was certainly warmer than outside.
Now, as far as the vehicle was concerned, either on scene, either in Dayton or at the Sallyport garage, or at any point in time that you were in the presence of that vehicle, what, if any, contact did you have? What, if anything, did you do or observe Sergeant Mechanic to do with regard to that damaged area you described on the right rear passenger side?
Yeah. Sergeant Mechanic and I never touched any part of that vehicle.
And as far as the moving it from sort of the tow truck into the Sallyport area, how was that accomplished?
The tow truck driver removed it from the tow truck and pulled it into the Sallyport bay.
Now, as far as prior to leaving that Sallyport area of the garage where the vehicle was, what, if anything, did you and Sergeant Mechanic do with reference to securing that vehicle or coordinating it off in any way, shape?
We tried to set up a perimeter as best we could using caution tape, just kind of sectioned it off with caution tape.
Now, at some
Not
point,
police tape, but caution tape.
You leave the Sallyport area, the Canton Police Station, and where did you go from there?
Also, just to be clear about that, they put caution tape around the car in the police Sallyport garage, but not at the scene of the crime. So there's no, they left 34 Fairview and it has been unattended all day. So that's just been.
Oh, I was sitting here thinking about it. It sounds like it was a flatbed tow truck. He said the tow truck driver got there with it, put it in, so it's in somebody else's hands now. I mean, he's talking about this great chain of evidence they have. The only time there's a chain in that car is when they put the code tape, okay, the construction. That means don't touch this anymore, guys. This is the way we want it to look.
Yeah. But they also used the crash test dummy to wrap the caution tape or like to hold up the caution tape, but they don't use the crash test dummy for any of the crash tests that Rutro does.
I want a crash test dummy.
So you're going to have to slow down, and speak up.
Definitely, yes. What road?
Yeah, that. Okay, so now we're wrapping up the car in caution tape.
We had a debrief meeting. So there's other troopers. There's troopers at scene on 34 Fairview Road. There's other troopers conducting interviews. So at the end of the night, members of my office met in a conference room at the Canton Police Department to exchange information as far as what everyone had learned throughout the day.
And like Berkowitz definitely wasn't there in his police department where he's the chief, but sure. Okay, cool.
As far as that meeting is concerned, that's just troopers from your unit, from your office, is that correct?
That's correct.
And so there were no members of the Canton Police Department that were present for that, is that correct?
No, correct.
And do you know why that was?
They had taken a step back from the investigation. They weren't going to participate in any interviews or anything of that nature.
And how was that communicated to you and Sergeant Mechanic?
The best of my recollection was that debrief meeting that we were informed that essentially Canton PD would be taking a step back from the investigation and that now this is just solely a Norfolk State Police investigation.
So before we get to sort of the debriefing and all that's covered in that, as far as when you're on call, you get a call for any kind of sort of homicide or unattended death or anything like that. you then become what's called a case officer for that investigation. Is that correct?
Correct.
And can you describe for the jury sort of what the duty or the role is of the case officer vis-a-vis the rest of the members of the unit?
So essentially, a case officer is more of a facilitator. You kind of delegate out tasks, coordinate interviews. The case officer isn't the sole decision maker. I have supervisors. I have that we bounce ideas off of. I get feedback from. I also keep them updated. It's a collaborative effort in each investigation. We're a small office, so when a homicide comes in, everyone essentially drops what they're doing, and we all work on it together. So it's a collective effort to work on these cases. And essentially, a case officer is just kind of the record keeper of all the reports that come in and video that comes in. But when it comes down to decision-making time, it's a group effort.
Okay. There's one more thing I want to get to tonight. And this...
My camera just died.
Mitchell thought we both went to bed.
No, my camera died. Sorry. Keep talking.
This, I think, doesn't get talked about enough, and I need to emphasize how much this bothers me. So now we're going to look at when the CERT team found their taillight, and then that basically like solidified this excellent investigation. They were like, we found the taillight, Karen did it, like game on, let's arrest her. And again, we're going to give them all the grace tonight. We're going to pretend that this taillight wasn't really found on top of 3 feet of snow, even though it's literally sitting there on top of 3 feet of snow where there's no ground to be seen anywhere. We're going to just we're giving them all the grace. That one little
that looks
tiny
exactly like my piece. Sorry.
Yeah, it does. That one little tiny piece, first of all, Tully says that this is where it was found. I don't know if you can even see it in the picture, but that one little tiny piece of taillight, yeah, they have not matched that to Karen's car yet. So they don't put the taillight together until March. This is January 29th. It is mid-March when they finally put all the pieces of taillight together and match it to Karen's car. This is just a random piece of red taillight.
So they got scotch tape or whatever and put all the pieces back together?
Yeah. And you know what's really, really interesting about when they put it all back together? Somebody actually went through and matched up like who found the pieces and where those pieces were on the reassembled taillight. And say the taillight is like this. It was like these 5 pieces right here were all pieces Proctor found. And then these like 7 pieces right here, these were all pieces that Yuri found. So they each had their own little like section. And it wasn't like, oh, Proctor found like this piece, this piece, this piece, and this piece.
It was like they were sitting around doing a puzzle.
Yeah, exactly. And Proctor was like, I'll do this corner, you do that corner, like I'll do this edge. But this, okay, so we're gonna go to, hold on just a second. We're gonna go to Tully's stupid, everything about this part of his testimony, like actually makes me crazy. Also, Tully didn't show up at his deposition today. He was supposed to be deposed for the civil trial and he just didn't go. Apparently, you don't have to.
Which one's Tully again?
This guy. Hold on. Tully is the detective lieutenant, DLT Tully. So he's it goes like Proctor's like the low man on the totem pole. Then Yuri's the next one up. And then Tully is the next one up. Tully's like the evil mastermind.
Oh, yeah. I remember it on our first stream.
This is the one we've seen this before, but this will make. Oh wait, I have to get rid of something.
More sense.
This will make more sense now. And like, to me, this highlights the like true stupidity of these lies. Okay. Tully's
I
gonna
love that
tell
shoe.
us. Tully's, look how clean it is. Can you believe it was like sitting in the snow, getting pushed back and forth by the plow trucks going by?
I already know the answer, and it is, why does it matter, or multiverse, or it's gonna be something like that. Do we know anything about the shoe, like where it was purchased or when it was purchased?
Well, no, that would require an investigation. I mean,
Okay. Does Nike still make this shoe?
yeah, I think so. Yeah, we're not touching this shoe you can talk about the shoe with the glare. Okay.
I don't know what's going on.
What I want to make really clear about this with Tully is all they find is, depending on which report and which testimony you listen to, either 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 or 7 pieces of taillight. And they're very small. Some of them are clear, and it like really is a true miracle that they were able to find these clear pieces of taillight in the middle of the blowing blizzard. But that's just how good they are at an investigation. I want, actually, before we even watch Tully lie to us, I just need to make this so incredibly clear that they don't ever get down to the pavement. So here they are, hanging out. No pavement.
Wait a second. Where are the lights coming from? First, yeah, I mean, they have big, generator lights and all that stuff.
No, they pulled their cars around so that their cars were like all pointed in the same direction. And actually, at one point, right before the taillight gets found, Tully first says to them, "Hey, like, look over there." And they're all like trying to maneuver their cars
serious?
to like point. Mm-hmm. And O'Hara testifies, this poor guy, he like knew that it was a sham, but he couldn't tell the truth. So he was like, yeah, like, I don't know. Tully just told me like, look over here. So I was like looking over there. And then Tully was like, whoop, but I found taillight. Karen's guilty. You found taillight on the ground. Like, taillight doesn't mean that she's guilty. Like, even the way they tried to frame her is stupid. Like, it's not evidence. I mean, it's like a small piece of the puzzle, but it's not, they didn't find like bullet casings at the scene of a shooting, and those bullet casings were engraved with your family crest. Like,
no, they usually never
they
are.
just found some trash on top of the snow that they sprinkled there.
Oops, sorry. I've got a camera thing. Well, it's my whole, sorry. I don't know why when I said earlier that it said that it was wet, for some reason a USB is not charging, and I'm right here.
I feel like this always happens where it's like all technology fails at the same time for no reason. Do you feel like that too? Like suddenly like your computer and your phone and your this and your that, like all won't work at the same time.
Yeah. Especially like whenever we're doing Karen Reed stuff, right?
Okay, here we go. And then we're going to bed, Mitchell, I promise.
What do you recognize that to be?
Don't worry about Mitchell. He likes to stay up.
Road in Canton and the flagpole I previously mentioned.
And if you could, using the laser pointer, just direct the jury's attention to what, if anything, of significance.
Now, before Tully points us to this needle in a haystack, do you guys see pavement anywhere?
Well, they're not going to the pavement.
But there was only pavement when Karen hit John. So even if the tail light was like in the middle of the snow, that would still be a lie. But this, they never got down to the pavement. So they did, like, they didn't even. I really hate when people lie. Like, I guess like most people probably do. So that's not like a novel statement, but like, I just hate the idea of lying. It's like, just be truthful. It's like,
Oh, yeah.
why? But if you're gonna lie, like, don't lie and expect us all to just like stupidly believe you. Like, if you're gonna lie, like, come up with a good lie. Like, this is so stupid. There is. Anyways, let's listen to him lie to
No,
us.
it's true. I mean, they look like the Three Stooges out here, doing the shoveling, which I don't think that doesn't seem like protocol for searching for evidence. And it's
Well,
because I don't know.
remember, their shovels only work on the pavement, not on the grass. Is he going to say
Because
my
they're
favorite
plastic.
line?
Yeah.
Yeah. They're road shovels. They're not grass shovels.
This
Okay.
picture was taken to memorialize this piece of red plastic here.
And again, Lieutenant, do you recognize what's up on the screen as Exhibit 114?
Yes.
And if you could, using the laser pointer, direct the jury's attention to what, if anything, of significance you observed there.
It's that same previously mentioned red plastic. The purposes of the multiple photographs, I'll take one as overalls, and as I get closer, I'll take more photographs to give better context.
And these photographs of these items, were they taken, the items that you're photographing, were they moved in any way prior to you memorializing them with photographs?
Yes, this piece in particular, a CERT team member, as he was removing the snow with the shovel, had picked up this piece of plastic with it. I asked him to place it back where he found it, where it approximately was, so that I could memorialize it in place.
So it's picked up.
Also, notice he just says this CERT team member, not a name. We don't know who found that. Still to this day, we don't have a name for that person. He just shoveled mid snowbank,
He's the
and
shoveler.
then yeah. I want to watch my favorite stupid line of his, and then we can call it a night.
I don't want to call it night. If you're doing this because of
We don't have to.
my stupid camera, what time? I don't even know what time it is. I'm from Massachusetts. I don't know what time it is. Wait, you are. I'm sorry. Didn't mean to say that about you.
It's okay.
Oh my gosh, no! I have so much fun on these nights. Mitchell, you need to relax. Don't get frustrated. You like how I get now my fingers. Look at that. I'm so angry right now. I have a major show coming up in a couple of weeks, and my stupid cords aren't working. So angry. Sorry. I got a little stress going on, y'all.
Put up your Venmo, everybody. Venmo expert some money for his for his cords.
For my stress.
For your stress. Okay. Chat, friends, people, you are about to hear the number one stupidest line in this entire sham investigation, and it was like so underratedly stupid that Tully talked like he meant what he was saying. So in the moment, people kind of like gave him too much credit for like acting like he was a serious investigator or something. This is the stupidest thing that could have come out of anybody's mouth. Enjoy.
This snowbank in front of it, we realized that the snowbank protruded about 3 feet into the roadway. So as they were moving this first part of the snowbank, we're essentially shoveling the road. And so as they continued on there, they would then hit.
So cool. So they're shoveling the road, and
Where'd the shovels
everything's working
work?
fine. The shovels are working fine. They're shoveling the snow, and they're like, "Oh my gosh, I didn't even realize like this is still part of the road. Like the snowbank is so big, we didn't even like realize it." But we're shoveling. We're finding taillight mid shovel, and
hit the curb area.
And as far as beyond the curb area, as far as grass or the front lawn, was the CERT team members, from your observations, able to go beyond the curb into the front lawn area?
No, they're having difficulty shoveling with plastic snow shovels onto the lawn, from the lawn.
And Your Honor, may I approach the witness? Oh,
So those shovels that were just working so well that they were able to find this needle in a haystack, suddenly they got to the grass and oh my gosh, the shovels don't work anymore. These are road shovels. They are not lawn shovels, and they couldn't shovel anymore. And you know what is so lucky? Like, let me just tell you how lucky these people are. There were only those 5 pieces of taillight on the street, and all the rest were on the yard. Because if any more had been in the street, they would have been plowed away. But luckily, they somehow found all the pieces of taillight that were in the road during this search, and all the rest of them were on the grass. And you know what's so interesting about that is they leaf blowered the grass, and there was no taillight there at the time, but then there was. So that's cool.
Emily, this hurts. This hurts. Make it make sense, please. Please make it make sense.
That I can't do. But
Hey Mitchell, is there a difference in snow shovels between the grass and the street? I'm from Tennessee. We don't shovel snow.
There they were leaf blowing the grass, and thank goodness they got all the pieces that were in the street because they would have been plowed away. But in that spot where they're leaf blowing right there, there's 40. How many? They found between 3 and 7 pieces, depending on who you ask. So there's 43 pieces of taillight hiding in this picture. Such a bummer that they didn't have grass shovels.
Snow between John getting hit and this picture being taken?
Well, if you remember my walking video.
Yeah, I mean, I remember that. That's so. That's how much snow it did.
So there was
0 to that much.
There was like a dusting. There was like 3 inches of dusting.
Enough to track a cat.
A little bit more than that. Now we were at like track a bobcat. Like
track
a little bit. Track a cat was at midnight when he got hit, or 12:32 and 16 seconds when he got hit.
That's something else. That's when my brain checked out because I'm still, it hurts so bad trying to get that time straightened out from what it was Jen that kept going to the door, correct?
Mm-hmm. For 25 minutes. 25 minutes.
And then she
went to the
leaves.
Door. She hallucinated a car for 15 of those minutes, which is maybe
some stranger. That's something else that gets me too. There's another car they see coming and doing like 360s, 3-point turns, and all this other stuff, and they're cops, and they're not concerned about that. Let me tell you what. Somebody does a 3-point turn in front of my house. I'm watching.
Brian Albert doesn't lock his doors at night. He just leaves his house wide open. He's been a Boston police officer his entire life. He's prosecuted like dangerous criminals, like brought them to justice. And those dangerous criminals probably have associates out there that are not so happy with him, but he just leaves his door wide open at night because Jen McCabe just sauntered right in once they told her to go in because she really wasn't worried about them at all. Yeah. So, you know what? I can't explain some of this to you because it's a lie. And it's embarrassing. Sam, you missed our love fest for you earlier. Yes.
Oh, is this the chick?
Yes. Sam is who you were watching the other
day.
Yeah,
I was so confused
class.
by a stream of yours. I'm so sorry. Hi, it's nice to meet you. And my camera isn't working right now and all this other stuff. I don't look like the typical well, I do look like a moron, but don't worry about that right now. Nice to meet you. You're very professional. I like your stuff. I had some questions. It was very confusing to me on your dog biting video, and then Emily threw
No.
an audible, and it was a touchdown after that. I'm telling you that makes
Because,
sense.
Sam, I said that the innocence, was like the AP class, and our friend just wasn't ready for the AP class yet, and that's okay.
Sam,
just
I'm an
take all
idiot.
of
I don't know anything
No,
about
you're
this
not.
trial. No, I
Yes,
don't know
you do.
anything
You know a
about it.
lot
And
now.
then like, oh no, I thought I did. I
You
thought I was
can't
doing so
wait,
well
you can't say
yesterday.
you don't know anything now because now we've done a lot. So if you still say you don't know anything, that means I'm a bad teacher.
No. Excuse me. I know a lot. I have a lot of knowledge. I cannot put that knowledge I cannot apply it to an argument. I do because it's the multiverse, right? It doesn't make sense if
Well,
you
I think that's
follow
the
the narrative.
argument. I think that's the argument, is that it doesn't make sense. So at this point now, even if we're gonna, like I said, tonight we're just giving them all grace. We're like, great, we're gonna just take your story at face value. So now they have like 5 little tiny pieces of taillight, and they're like, she killed him because we found trash on the road. They haven't matched that to her car yet. They haven't like figured out where those pieces fit. That doesn't happen for another month. Yeah, you're also apparently a murderer.
It is sharp on one side. It is sharp on one
Yeah.
side.
Don't make Emily think she's a bad teacher.
No. You're incredible. No, listen, it's what did I my wife, she said she was a great compliment to you. She said that you are like she bragged about your stream here. She's like, I don't know how she does it, but she brings out the best in you. And I was like, oh, I feel like she does something, but I wouldn't say the best. I don't know. I'm too dumb. No, I'm kidding. No, she really did say that. And
I love
Baker's
that.
here. You can ask him if she's giving a compliment. That's a big. My wife is so sweet. I love her to death. She just
Aw.
knows that Baker doesn't like moon pies.
You know how YouTube lately will just give you like random people's shorts from like a year ago for no reason? The other day I saw a video of you guys driving for your Dollywood last year, and Baker was strapped in the back like a little kid. It was really funny.
Well, he has to be. There's snakes. And that's some of the least things he has to worry about. But yeah, he's he wasn't was that last year or year before? Because it might have been the year he wasn't allowed, he wasn't served. His ID was fake.
I don't know, because YouTube is so weird. Like, I didn't go searching for this. It was just like, hey, want to watch a random video from like a long time ago for no reason? I was like,
I'm glad you brought
okay.
that up. If you ever think, boy, this guy really has lost his mind, because I'm pretty sure now I have made comments on several of your shorts, and I've already seen them before. They're pushing them back up.
Well,
And
but
I'm
I
like,
feel like now you'll also like understand them better. Like, you watched them once before you like knew they were just like silly, but now
different
it's like,
comments.
oh, now I like get it. Okay, we gotta get ready for
I
bed.
do get it. I do get it. Thank you so much. And this is so fascinating to me. I assure you, like, I mean, law school is something I think everybody can relate to. You know,
Yeah,
lawyers,
like, why is
attorneys,
YouTube doing that?
oh, what?
Like, I have to like go digging to find like who's live sometimes, but then it's like, hey, want to watch the first short that I ever uploaded for no reason?
If you want me to watch your live, you have to come tell me, is what I tell people. But no, I was using the law school example because that's the one you read hundreds of cases, hundreds. And there's always that pivotal moment where you know the professor gets you, and at first you're sitting there going, huh? Yeah, like, you know, that's they're teaching you. Then as you get closer to graduation, that's why they say the third year they bore you to death, is because you know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
This isn't like anything I can pinpoint. I mean, this is so weird.
Like,
And I feel like it happens
you
all
can
the time. there.
Like, think about when Rex Heuermann was just arrested. They knew, the investigators knew that he was the guy for like 3 months, but they were putting all the pieces together so that they had a full picture, and so that there were no like loose ends before he was arrested. So they waited for the DNA to come back, and they tracked his movements, and they did X, Y, and Z. They, in the Donna Adelson and Charlie Adelson, like, they were onto them for years, but they had to put every single one of those pieces together. But in this case, they're like, oh my gosh, like a little tiny piece of red taillight, go arrest Karen. Karen gets arrested 2 days after this. And
After finding the taillight.
yeah.
And they'd already had her car before
How many
they
days
found
are
the
in
taillight.
January?
It was 31.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, so they find the taillight on the evening of the 29th, and she's arrested February 1st. Right? Is that right? So they already, like, from that very first interview with Jen, the second that Jen was like, Karen said, did I hit him? Could I have hit him? They're like, great. Nothing else we need to do. Let's just make sure that, like, we have enough pieces of taillight that we can arrest her, is basically what they were going for.
You know, here's the thing that I hear so many people say, and I am beginning to understand it, is even my wife, you know, she watched both trials, and she's like, oh, you didn't know, like, she was so amazed I didn't know about Jim McCabe. And she seems so pivotal. It's like to the whole. I wouldn't be surprised if the reports didn't come out. It's like, well, yeah, this is what happened because Jen told me so.
I'm so happy to hear you say that 1162 is the tow truck, because I've been saying that for so long, and then you were like, no, because it couldn't have been. I was like, okay, but it was, and we're coming around. And I'm
What was
so
1162?
well, we'll get there.
You have no idea, true crime, how far behind I am.
It's just, there's a lot, and we're going slower for each kind of piece than I think all of us got to do originally, because we got all of this like thrown at us in like one day of a trial, and so it was like it took like a full year for us to be going back and looking over things and match. So you're just getting to like kind of go through each piece slower than we did. Yeah. I mean, but now we're at the point where it's kind of like, you know, that Karen didn't hit John because he didn't get hit by a car. So everything else is like extra.
Well, it goes back to me. I do. I love the American experiment, and what I tell you since the first time we've talked, that Massachusetts is the cradle of democracy for the world. I absolutely love it, and to think that you guys are up there, I love the young lady. She is such a sweet, kind person to me. I don't know, maybe she's vicious. Hopefully you are the broken baker. He deserves it. But no, she's so great and sweet to me. I really do appreciate that. And I am, in my heart of hearts, you deserve better. Everybody who lives in Massachusetts, I've met so many great people from up there. You guys deserve a better return for your investment. And your investment, your tax dollar. And it's when they just that they're not only making your investment, shrugging it off as in like, oh, who cares, but they're shrugging off human beings too. I mean, literally not to you, the human being paying, but the human beings like John O'Keefe. And this is the guy, you know, I had never told you, Emily, one of the things when we were covering Colin, he had a thin blue line bracelet on. And I was like, but John was a cop. You know,
John was wearing a thin blue line hat. Like, that I feel like that's another reason that everything about this case just kind of like flipped everything upside down is in any other situation, John is the one that you would be like, oh, the cops are going to protect you. The cops are going to like bend things for you. And then if John's not a part of it, then Karen is kind of like the next in line where it's like, oh, you're like a cop's girlfriend. Well, you're the one, like she could get out of a speeding ticket just being like, oh, my boyfriend's a Boston cop. And they'd be like, okay, go ahead. And so that was what was extra weird about this was like, what is Brian out? Not Brian, whoever in the house, what is whoever?
Well, I was going to say, I really was going to say Brian. I'm not saying this to hurt Emily at all, but I'm saying this because I have a question about the cop life. You see in movies how when an officer's fallen, they cover their badges with a black tape or a black band. Did they cover their badges for John? Did Brian Albert cover his badge?
No,
Was he
they
at the
didn't
funeral? I don't
even.
even know if he's at the funeral.
They were at one part. There was like a wake and a funeral, and then they were at one of the two parts. They like the Boston police also didn't show up like in numbers for the trial. Like that part was weird. Like there's another case now where there's a Boston police officer who is on trial for he killed a driver that was driving at him, and the Boston police officers are like all showing up for every single hearing, showing like all support, and that didn't happen for John. And
I'm listening. I just had I have a hard time holding my thoughts in because I get so excited.
No, go.
It's so well, like Karen, I would think that she would be scared to live there in the area if the Boston cops thought she was the one that ended John. Because what are you? She's gonna get pulled over every freaking day, right? I mean, everybody knows who she is. It's
well, she can't drive for a year because she has a DUI, which actually kind of saves her. And then once her DUI is up, she's allowed to leave Massachusetts. And I assume she's like moving to LA where she can like coordinate with Alan Jackson for whatever their like next venture is in all of this.
I'm surprised she didn't appeal the DUI.
I think she was we'll get into this at some point, but her team added the DUI to the verdict slip. So that wasn't even a charge going into the trial. And then at the end of the retrial, her team was basically banking on like there might be some people that just feel like you should be found guilty of something, and we want to give them and it's like, and we want to give them the something that like won't hurt your life at all. She doesn't want to be driving anyways, like you just said. Like I would be so scared to drive in Massachusetts if I was her. Not even just for the police, but like people are crazy and people are weird and who knows. And she didn't even get her car back until like January, even though they were supposed to give it back to her right after she was acquitted. They held on to it until January, and then they gave it to her all busted up. It was a brand new car. It had 12,000 miles on it. And they gave it to her like it had just gotten like fully robbed and stripped.
Are there pictures of it?
Yeah.
When they give it back?
Yeah, it's crazy.
And I want to put on my conspiracy hat for a second, and I'll talk to the chat so that way you're not part of this. Chat, do you think that Jim and Kate, she got hottest chick in high school? Do you think it was a jealousy thing? She thought Higgy Bear was saying, Jen, Karen's hotter than you. And so then this whole thing came down, and you just can't have it like that. There's only one hottest chick. From some movie. I'm pretty sure.
I
And
think
why isn't Higgy Bear talked about in this whole thing? Why did they go till when did they find out about him sending the weed whacker text?
that's a
See, I
story
know
for a
this stuff,
whole
but now
nother day.
I know it in a different way, and I'm like, where was I? What was happening back then? Now,
We'll go into all those details in another. I mean, there are some things that Karen, like I am not. I know Karen is innocent. There are like some things that she did that I just can't relate to. Where I'm like, I don't know why she didn't tell her team about Higgins. I don't know why she said Higgins was hot. So we can start right there with somebody that I can't relate to.
well, none of that matters. Oh yeah, that's how you take
That's
a
how
car
they gave
apart.
her car back. Yeah.
That looks like a car. Did they give her the pieces?
No. I don't know actually.
That's like a chop shop.
Yeah.
They were
He just
looking
gave it to
for
her.
drugs. They were looking for everything in there. Holy cow, man! That is
And not only that, there were like rats there was like a rat's nest
Of
in
course
like
there
the
are because
engine or
there's nothing to
something.
stop them from
Yeah.
coming in.
They said that it smelled like pee, like the rats had been like peeing in it.
Do you think Higgy had to live in here for a little bit? Hey, so I didn't think you'd catch that. I did. That's why I said it like that and everything. You see every one of those little holes right there? Like, okay, you can identify where the air conditioner vents are, but all those little teeny tiny holes, those all are where clips go to hold everything in place. All the clips are gone. Everything's gone.
Everything's gone. Fully gone. And then
That is
actually
a
something really
totaled
nice
car.
happened. There was a guy who was like into the trial and he owned a auto body shop and he like restored her car for free and then they auctioned it off and I don't actually know how much it ended up going for or who got it. And then they put that money or maybe they didn't end up. Hold on. I feel like maybe they postponed the auction or something. But the money was then intended to go back to her fund for the civil trial. Yeah, wait, hold on. Karen Reed's, let's see. Karen Reed's SUV was supposed to hit the auction block in January. Here's why it didn't. The Lexus SUV Karen was driving the night her boyfriend was killed was supposed to go up for auction in January after being restored free of charge at a local body shop. But the auction didn't happen that month and won't happen for several more. That's because Howie Carr, the radio show host and Boston Herald columnist, wants to preside over the auction. What is happening?
What with me? I'm sorry.
No, with Howie Carr wanting. So Howie Carr wants to preside over the auction, according to the president of Cape Cod Auction House, J.J. Manning, which is overseeing the process. Carr, who was a staunch supporter of Reed's during her 2 criminal trials, is in Florida until May. What? This is such a stupid.
Wait, who's in
line.
Florida till May?
Okay, there's a local journalist named Howie Carr. Do you know him? He's like not actually local. He does like he was like he does politics. The mob tried to kill him at one point. He's like an interesting guy, but he was he wrote a book about this. Apparently that's not anyway, that's a whole other plot line. But now it says the auction will now be, oh my God, you guys, it's coming up. The auction is now being held on May 14th at 2 p.m. at Manzi Appraisers in Woburn. Anyone want to go? What's May 14th? What day of the week is that? Hold on.
It's a week from today. Next Friday. Or next Thursday. Sorry. Hold on, wait a second here. Who's going to buy the car?
Whoever
if nobody
bids on
shows
it.
up, it's going to go for cheap.
The bidding will be held live, and any bidders must present a valid ID and $20,000 to participate. Never mind. You have to pay $20,000 just to participate. and get a
Well, I mean,
chance
do you have
to
to
own.
pay it?
That's
Is
not
that
an
what it says?
auction. Hold on. It says $20,000 to participate and get a chance to own the 2021 Lexus LX 570. I was right.
I didn't doubt you were right. I don't know my
No, I was
Lexus.
just
I
telling
don't know the
myself.
Lexus numbers. Sorry.
The SUV going up for auction is the same one Reed was driving. Well, I would hope so. It's not just like a random one.
Is the taillight
Car.
fixed? I really hope they put up for sale and don't have the taillight fixed.
They shouldn't have. That would actually be funny. The owner of JB Auto Care in Weymouth purchased the vehicle from the leasing company after authorities released it. While the car was sparsely used, it required extensive repairs. Mechanics changed the oil. That's the first thing that they did. Hold on. Mechanics changed the oil, cleaned out a rodent infestation, I told you, and repaired the navigation systems. They also replaced the car's right rear tail light. The area authorities said was damaged by Reed striking O'Keefe. Broussard said JB Auto Care plans to donate all proceeds from the auction to Reed, who spent millions on her legal defense. That's the end of the article.
This thing's going to end up being the Bonnie and Clyde car. I predict it'll be
oh my
in
God.
Pigeon Forge.
Yeah, wait, what if the person that buys it really does it and kills somebody in it?
That'd be a weird twist. That'd be
No, I don't think you get your $20,000 back if you don't win. You just pay $20,000 to go to the auction. That's crazy.
Yeah,
I'm gonna see if I can volunteer.
I was thinking it was like 20,000 was that you had to have a cashier's check showing that you can cover 20,000.
Right. Or like, yeah, but no, it's 20,000. It just says
Do you get a hot dog or
$20,000
anything while you're there? Do you get some
It's
popcorn?
at an auction house. That doesn't sound like a really like fun. Wait, let's look up Manzi.
Have you never been to an
appraisers
auction
and-
house? Have you ever been
Are
to
they
a cattle
cool?
auction?
Um,
Massachusetts
Where?
girl. Never been to a cattle auction.
When would I have been to a cattle auction? What do you?
Third
Okay,
Saturday of every month.
the third Saturday. Do you go?
I haven't recently, no. But I'll tell you what, there's really good. I know where it's probably the best biscuits you can get is little restaurants on the cattle grounds, on the stockyards. Where's it? You guys?
Are
You don't
they
have
just
stockyards?
eating? Are you just eating what they're auctioning?
I did say that. I did try to tell that to my wife, but no. It's
Oh, Howie Carr's been like putting in work for this, guys. Hold on. This is actually really funny. This is an article on howiecarr.com, howiecarrshow.com from where'd it go?
look, Sunshine. It's the third Thursday. She is.
Look,
for the
this is an
cattle
article
auction.
from September. So like way before the auction was supposed to be in January. This was in September. He's like, hey,
By the way, my
meet the
picture's not
experts.
there. Picture's not there.
Yeah, it should be you. Meet the experts
I have a full
from
head of hair.
Nancy Appraisers. Like he's been trying to get this auction for so long.
Wait, he's. Wait a second. What's this one? Oh yeah, Sweetwater, Tennessee. Here you go. Look at this regular schedule. Each Wednesday at 1 p.m. is the cattle auction. You come down, I'll take you to the cattle auction. You have
know
boots?
that I would enjoy that. Do I have boots? Yeah, I have boots. They're not like cowboy boots.
Well, I mean, like boots that you can walk around in, like cow poop in.
I have fry boots.
You have what boots?
Fry
Fries?
boots. Yeah.
I like fries. Those are nice. Fry cowboy boots?
Uh,
With the little square toe on? You got a little ostrich skin? This stream just got interesting. It got a whole lot more interesting now, didn't it? Man, I hate this camera. I don't know what's wrong with my computer. Oh, here. Yes, those are fine. Never mind the price tag on them. Just make sure you use
I've had
milk
these
oil
for
on
like
them.
15 years.
They're perfect. They're perfect.
Yeah.
So bring those down. We'll go on Wednesday, 1 p.m. And after that, I'll take you over to Benton's Bacon and get country ham, a whole ham.
I don't know that I would want to see like cute little piggies at auction and then go eat bacon.
Oh no,
That's just
well,
me.
we'll go get the country ham and the bacon. We'll get that first. And it's packaged, it's like packaged stuff. I'm being serious. I think this is the last stream with expert on it, y'all. I'm
No,
sorry.
we still have a lot of ground to cover.
Do you like
okay.
cheese? There's a big cheese place down in Sweetwater where the auction house is.
Yeah, I like cheese. Not like
It's not
love
poulet.
cheese. I don't know what that means.
Poulet's the donkey milk and the goat milk from Ukraine.
Oh,
Or
that was
Serbia,
your
excuse me,
fancy
Serbia.
cheese. That was your $20,000 cheese.
$20,000 a quarter pound. I will never have poulet. My luck is I will have poulet and I won't know what I'm eating, and then somebody will be like, "You just ate $5,000 worth of cheese." I'll be like, "Oh no, I'm allergic. Why didn't you tell me?" And then run out of that place.
Yeah, I don't know how we got here either. It's bedtime. Okay,
I
we
know.
gotta go to
Well,
sleep.
here's the thing. I'm very excited, and because this has been an incredible night. Thank you. I'm also very, very. My mind is so confused from this that when I get nervous, I talk.
I
That's why I
think
talk all the time.
what you have to like, I feel like for a little while, the question was kind of like, okay, what happened? What happened? What happened? And now you have to shift your mindset a little bit to like, they're lying to us. Like, we know that now. So now we're like looking for the lies. So now we're like keeping bits and pieces of the things that we know for sure are facts. Like when Guarino testified that Karen's Wi-Fi connected to Karen's
Oh, I
phone
was gonna
connected to
say
John's
something about
Wi-Fi at 12:36. It's like we have that like stamped now. So like that is like one thing that we can count on for sure to say like, okay, so she can't be here at 12:45 because we know this one thing for sure. And now anybody who says something that contradicts this fact that we know for sure that is not coming from like a person's mouth, but is coming from a fact, then we can just say all of those go into the lie pile. And like, we don't know why you're lying. Maybe you're just weird. Maybe Karen really did hit John and you just like to lie. And you just thought like, this will be fun. I'll like lie in a murder investigation for no reason, just for funsies.
I'm glad you worded it like that.
Like lying doesn't automatically mean that they did something nefarious. It just makes you question things. And then once you start questioning things, then you go down a whole nother rabbit hole.
Well, you can't prove something without a reasonable doubt if you feel like the person who you're trusting to do the investigation is lying.
I think also something to keep in mind that's like really important to remember is nobody else has ever been on trial. So we've never been presented with evidence that's like meant to convict anybody besides Karen. And probably we never will because, or at least never will in like the same court that Karen was tried in, because you just have a built-in defense now where whoever's lawyer could get up and just be like, well, Karen did it. Right?
Okay, I'm going to have to think about what you just said there a little bit longer. Before I do that, look, can I go back where you were saying, I forget your exact words now. Sorry. Um,
Lying for funsies?
yeah, basically, yeah, line for funsies. So how do you take that? Because they could lie. I mean, they could lie the whole thing and she still did it. How do you prove? I think this is what I want to figure out at some point. I don't want us to get sidetracked by my stupidities here, my random thoughts. But how do you prove that Karen did it with the evidence that I'm seeing from the prosecution? And that's where I'm like, it wasn't O'Malley or whatever, the prosecutor. I kind of feel bad for the guy. The
O'Malley.
highlight of his life was passing out in the courtroom next to the window.
No. He knows that he was prosecuting a sham. We'll get into that someday. But
Well, I mean, that's the thing. I think he when you're presented with that and that's your job, what do you do? If you're Meatball O'Malley or not O'Malley,
I
what's his
mean,
name? Meatball
if you're
Morrison, you quit.
if well, he was getting paid crap, first of all. He had worked in the district attorney's office for 20 years and he was making like 120. Like, it's not like he was trying to hold on to this like lucrative job that he needed so badly. He could go into private practice and make 3 times that. Like, he didn't need this. Now he probably can't because he has made a fool of himself.
Was there everybody else
Yeah.
right there? Like, do we know that? Is he the lowest paid in the prosecutor's office or?
No, I think they all just get paid crap. I don't know. But one thing I was just going to say is, and then we need to go to bed. I don't like, so, okay. The House defendants, the Jen McCabe and Brian and all of them, they spend a lot of time saying like, Karen should have just said she did it or something weird like that. I don't fault whoever did it for lying. That is what people do when they get caught doing something bad. Like they all lie. Brian Koberger lied and Rex Schuerman lied and Donna Adelson lied and Corey Richens lied. Like nobody just gets arrested and is like, you're right, I did it. That is the whole reason why police collect evidence and build a case against somebody. So I don't fault anybody in the house for lying about what happened in the house. That is what they're meant to do. They did something bad. They witnessed something bad. They're scared to get in trouble. It will ruin their lives. Of course they're going to lie. The only thing I'm mad about is that the police didn't see through those lies to investigate all angles of this and then be like, okay, we investigated the car angle, we investigated the house angle, we investigated the backyard angle, the pool, the dog, the stranger, the wolf, like all the different angles that could have happened, and then built a case around the one that the evidence led them to.
It almost feels like the police lied and everybody else went along with it. Like, we're just too lazy to investigate this. We got a dead guy, we got a chick.
I mean, they lied for a reason. Like I don't think like they woke up in the morning and they were like, know what we should do? Like frame an innocent woman. I think they had to be lying for a person, a reason, a thing. Where you see that really highlighted is with the Kelly Dever and Commissioner Cox situation, because why did Commissioner Cox tell Dever to do the right thing? And why was the right thing to change her story? Right? Like that really, to me, that demonstrates like what the corruption looks like in action. Like we know for sure this was your story. You sat down with Commissioner Cox. He told you to do the right thing, and then your story changed. What does he have on the line that he needed her to get in line? Like, and why wasn't getting in line freeing Karen and telling the truth about what she had told the feds months earlier? You don't have to answer that. That's just something to leave you with. I need to go to bed now.
Is Boston real quick? Is Boston and Canton? Do they have the same prosecutor? Is Morrissey the prosecutor for Boston? Okay.
Mm-mm. Boston is Middlesex
Alright.
County, right? Middlesex County. Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know.
No, I'm asking myself that. Yeah.
I've never
I
been
think
there.
so.
It's Wade Boggs. That's what I know about Boston.
That's old.
Traded off Babe Ruth.
My divorce commercial really was big. Okay, say goodnight, expert.
Good night, expert.
It's a full hour since the last time Mitchell told us to say goodnight. Okay, you guys are the best. These like get more and more
Thank
fun
you,
every
Natalie.
week.
I'm glad I haven't aggravated you. Thank you.
Thank you.
This is
You guys are the best.
it's an honor to be here. Y'all, please give Emily all the love and make sure you send this out to all your
Suffolk County,
special
that's what it is.
stuff.
I knew that
Where's
because
the other
that's where Aiden's that makes sense. Okay.
All I know is
like
that
literally
Chloe is Aiden's closet baby.
Yes, we will leave it at that. Chloe is Aiden's closet baby. Good night, everybody. Sweet dreams.
Love
Oh,
you
wait.
guys. Thank you. Wait.
Cindy said greetings from Syracuse, New York. Happy Teachers Appreciation Week, Emily. As a retired pre-K teacher, I get it. Thanks you. I love
That's
that.
so cool.
Good for you.
We're retiring. Good for you. We're getting away with those Rugrats.
No, seriously, like good for you for pre-K's the best. Oh. Okay, good night,
Syracuse,
everybody.
is that the capital?
No, Albany's the capital of New York. Good night.
If you need a place to breathe, some stress to just relieve, then come watch Emily see, where we keep it drama free. We want justice for John O'Keefe, Aiden and Kelsey, wave bye-bye to Morrissey. Let's clean up Norfolk County. Emily C, the one we need, reading sidebars with Corey, writing Hank diaries, giving the people what they need. It's my pleasure to entertain, keeping you laughing makes my day. Positivity all the way. What do we tell Satan? Not today. And now it's time to say goodbye. But before we say goodnight, just keep one thing in mind. Please like, comment, subscribe.